Zan ya yok malo nyoti. Ya yo ta won yo le yo ko po ya yo.
La nyo awe
Ti bo yo je inde si bo ya yo malo nyoti yo.
oh nyo so asan diti me le dum la we ole
But my case was what I was saying. Guess what I was? To the money, guess what I was? Guess what I was? Guess what I was? But today I want to guess what I was. Money get up, but they want to stop and wear. I wonder. I'm one way, yo. 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 Hi. What is that? Money find one as well. Get what I want. Yeah. Sibo, 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 sibo. Just yo. Hey yo. Come on, yeah. You better come on, yeah. You better come on, you better come on. You better come on, you better come on. Yeah, yo, yeah, yo. You better Maria de Pole. Oh, I got your back and your regret. So, yo, oh, my blood, I go, we go. Get it, your name, be a dress, I know. Yeah, we know how we are living. So, yeah, we know how we are living. So, yeah, we know how we are living. Moro Ame, Yole Zean, Atrone, Mopo Abliwe, Ayo, Amadi Shate, Amadi Taluwe Mao, Ayo, Awele, Awele, Ayo, Yati, Ayo.
Okay, well, folks, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Very shortly, we get this program going, just doing a little bit of housekeeping with our guests. They're going to be joining us here very shortly. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your Sunday with us here tonight. Very shortly, we will get this program. Okay, let's see here. I believe they is here. Let's hopefully see whether we can get this going here as soon as possible. This is the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. So we're going to get this program going shortly. Let's get this program going here. I believe a guest is here. Let me bring in from the provincial city of Zuadu, GWION County. Of course, our analysts, they are all standing by. We're going to have this conversation in the proportional context, and we're going to be doing that. Let me see here, Mr. Corport. Yeah, you okay? Yeah, if you can get your. All right, I think. Are you hearing me, Rayhan?
You are in a show. Everyone can see and hear you. All right.
Mr. Corport, are you there?
Can you hear
Are you hearing? Are you hearing me, Ray?
Good morning. This is Wilhelm bringing on the chief patron of the. Please consider us our. So I'm
Well,
going to turn you over to.
I would suggest if the internet is not doing you favor, then perhaps you can call in. That will also be good because I found I don't think you want to have it like this, and thereby the audience we will not understand what you're saying. Are you hearing me, Ray and Cooper? Oh. Are you hearing me, Ray and Cooper? Can you call in directly, or you want me to call in your WhatsApp number? Professor, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. I'm sorry.
Okay, go. Yeah, no, now you. I think we having this connectivity problem from inside Liberia. We are in the 21st century, and we still yet to deal with the internet system. Ryan Cooper. Okay, let me just get in off yet and see whether we can get him. Let me bring in analyst. Can you turn your camera on? Okay, good. I'm trying to see here if we get him by phone. Probably would be much. It would be a help to us and, having this where people will not understand him. I don't think it's a good thing. And considering the hour, all of that. So let me see here if it is possible that we can call him here directly. And probably that would be the best thing to do. What, folks, just bear with us. Professor, before then, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Alphonso, can you unmute your mic? Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
It's unmuted.
Okay, let me see what I can get here via phone, and perhaps I think it would be it would do us a favor. Then, okay, let me see here. Is he still back here? Akopa, are you there?
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Are you hearing me? Understand?
Yeah.
Do you? The network is looking terrible on your end. Is it possible to call you on your WhatsApp number?
Fortunately, the network is fluctuating.
Yeah, can we call you on your WhatsApp number in order for your message to resonate so that we understand what you're saying much better?
Or you can remove the video and just focus on the.
Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm calling the guy. The other man, he's not even picking his phone. Guys, just bear with us. We'll try to deal with. Let me see here. Okay, let me just move in here to get him off the studio. And I hope Rayan could even pick up his number. That would do us good. Whatever the case, folks, we gotta get the program going. I don't know why the other guys don't pick it. Everything about that play is just something else. It's so ridiculous. My goodness. But why is he not even picking his phone?
Maybe the call is not going through. Maybe it just looks like it's ringing on your end. He might.
Okay, let me kick this guy off the studio. I don't know. What let me call the medicine to his number and see. Okay, but besides that, gentlemen, it's the Sunday. How was the Sunday so far?
The sun is going fine for me. Watched some English soccer, English football. Had a restful day.
Guys, calling for they're not even. We can't wait. We have not even started the calling. Yeah. When we're calling, we always make an announcement. We'll put it up. We'll try to get the main guest. Okay. Well, Mr. Gate, I think you gotta get in touch with you guys, and this is that's part of dealing with folks. Like, oh my goodness, he's calling on the here. Hold on 1 second. Hello, Hero. Yeah, let me. I think, guys, are you hearing me?
Yes, yes, yes. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully they're gonna be calling yet. There was moving on the other side, so let's see. Hopefully, okay. Well, guys, I welcome. We're gonna we're gonna put it around. If you are listening to something else, I will continue to please know your monitor. Was your monitor on?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You want to pay fine now.
No, sure.
Okay. While we are with our guests to call in, for we are. The 2020, what 2020 was that 2020 or 21? The meeting, senatorial meeting has ended. He has created another type political vacuum where there will be a lot of opening up, even though the president encouraged the people, those in the lower houses should not go to upper houses, to contest. But there's a big deal now in Grand GEDEH County. As a matter of fact, the president was there. His open and has gone to the upper house. And so that left a vacuum for district number 1, Chien district. And there will be a race there. Potentially, we are hearing the guy, MADISON, is exploring the process. And also, we are hearing Gao Jeremiah Sokan, the deputy for EPA, will be contesting. How is that a big deal for the ruling establishment? Let me start with Professor Tai Zawlo.
If every election for the ruling party is an important election, and I'm sure our party will put up the best candidates, as we have always done. Grand GEDEH is like a home for the CDC, and we know that the representative of our party, the ones who will put up as candidate for our party, will do very well in Grand GEDEH. Yeah, it's a big one.
Okay, I yet to find out his status. I do not want to kind of like render judgment, be judgmental yet. How close are you to monitoring what's going to be happening? Zoe Emmanuel Pennon, we are hearing sources as telling us most likely might be the hands of Gao Jeremiah Sokan. If that happens, what could possibly be the outcome of that?
Yeah, thank you. I've heard that too. And if that were to happen, given that Mr. Peno now, Senator like, or even Senator Peno, because I understand the way inducted yesterday. I think if he does, given the track record of how he has won and the margin with which he's won his elections in the area, I think that definitely Mr. Sokan will have an upper hand if that were to
I
happen.
want you guys to hold on. Let me see here what I can bring in this guy here. Hello? Hello, Mr. GWION, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. All right. Better. Okay. It's better than never. We hope they will not be the last time. Subsequent one will be coming in to bring you. But good morning. I believe it's morning hour in Liberia.
Exactly so.
Okay. Good morning, son. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm okay, and you?
Very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so I know we are a little bit behind time, so let's just get the program. Let's get it rolling here, folks. Excuse me a little bit. This is the gentleman. We hope to get him via video, but it's not working out right now, so we will see what next. Okay, Mr. GWION, just go ahead to introduce yourself, and we will get right down to the wire.
Thank you very much, Mr. So. Friends, relatives, brothers and sisters, people of Grand GEDEH County in the diaspora, it's a pleasure interacting with you tonight through this audio task. I am Errol Madison GWION Sr., the son of GEDEH District, that is now referred to as District Number 1 electorally, Grand GEDEH County. It's a pleasure interacting with you tonight.
Okay, so where are you speaking from currently? So we're going to be fluctuating. We're going to be switching. At some point in time, we will be listening to you. At some point in time, we're going to be switching the audio. Our analysts are live on the video, so that they're going to be making their contribution as well. So where is Mr. GWION at this morning hour?
I am personally at my residence on Moses P. Harris Street, opposite the Grand GEDEH Youth Center in Zwedu, Grand GEDEH County.
Okay, thank you so much. We want to make sure so that we can know exactly how to let our audience know. Okay, so I believe there's a reason very unusual in the sense right after the race for Mr. GWION to be coming out, Madison era type, you want to call you to come out here. What is in your mind this evening?
Well, what is in my mind this evening is to acquaint you with whatever I have as a plan as it relates to the prosperity of District Number 1, otherwise known as GEDEH District, Grand GEDEH County. As it relates to the ensuing by-elections, my ambition from time past to serve my people as a lawmaker remain unquenched. And so I'm one person who knows very well that our brethren in the diaspora have got a greater part to play when it comes to the developmental aspect of our county, not just District Number 1 alone. And so it has been my quest to interact with you, share with you, invite you into the situation of helping us redeem our county from whatever level it is so that we can regain our proper orbit in a galaxy of democratic society, as it has been Grand GEDEH, the only country to produce an indigenous president in this country. And it's so saddening that by this time, our effort at making sure that our county will be on the map, that the rest of the 14 counties of Liberia can learn from, is yet to put forth adequate leadership. So we feel that with the ambition that we possess, with your expertise and your involvement together, we can make it. This is why I'm so glad getting in touch with you just about this time, this period of the entire episode.
So bottom line here, if to let the cat out of the bag, what I seems to be hearing now, it seems like ERO is contemplating or exploring the process to contest for the vacant seat of District Number 1 in Grand GEDEH County. Is that where we are heading this evening?
Certainly so.
Okay. So what prompted this decision here? How it came into being? Can you tell me, please?
Well, the decision has come about most especially upon our return from exile and seeing the need, especially so when our own people have come to realize that we could make a better leader at this about this time. And so studying the situation and consulting our families and our wives, I've come to realize that indeed it is a challenge upon me that when your people are in need of your assistance, it's good to identify with them, respond to them in keeping with their requests. And not only because of their request, but the fact that I've come to realize also that I'm not just qualified, but very competent for this slot. And so I think I should make use of this opportunity to help my people out.
So is that a people request, or that was some sort of decision based on yourself as well, prepare for leadership?
Well, I've been prepared for leadership. I've been exemplifying, over the years. And so returning home, like I just said, my people have seen the need and realized that Madison can also do something better for us at this end, not just in exile. The petition came in 2009. And of course, it took me like a year consulting my family and my wife. And then I finally decided, first looking at myself, I saw it to be like a kind of a huge challenge because democratic elections of such are capital intensive. And I was just returning from exile, no job, no money on hand, most especially given the situation through which I returned home at the chase out of another national government. And so I thought it would have been difficult to do. But of course, I was being very much encouraged by my people, most especially my wife, that you can make it, honey, and so go into it for it as your people depend on you and trust you. And I, as your wife, am 100% convinced you are able to do so. And so we started to collaborate, give it a try the first time, the second time, and this is now the third time. Although we anticipated for 2023, but man proposes and God disposes. And of course, the journey has been shortened instead of 2023 to this time by the divine power of God. And so we are into it as the call was being sounded, and we were prepared also, depending on the fact that our brethren in America, we can ask them to get involved. Because we do not only want to look up to you in terms of remittance, but we feel that you can have a greater input. We can have a greater input as it comes to carrying out this particular function.
Wow. So you have contested, what I'm hearing, this is not a first, this is not a second, this is not a third. So why this sort of goes this sort of route? What so much is the big deal of being a representative? Is that the only way that you can perhaps help your people?
Well, it's not actually the only way. Our predecessors have played their part, and we've come to know that wherever they stop, I think they cannot do more than they've done. It is about time that we come on the stage to continue from where they stop.
Where they stop. Okay, so let's establish the identity of Mr. GWION. Are you affiliating with any political party?
Yeah, frankly, I am a member of the Congress of Democratic Change, now considered as a major coalition for democratic change.
Are you still a member of the Congress for Democratic Change?
Up to present time, I am still an active member of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
Is that where you are banking on to contest for the seat in District Number 1, GWION County?
Yeah, as a member, I have the mind to run on my party's ticket until otherwise.
When you say until otherwise, what does that suggest? Is there a backup plan?
In time past, it has not been easy enrolling on the party's ticket. What is expected is to enroll on the party's ticket in keeping with the norms and culture of the party democratically. But we've come to realize that people will enroll depending on some reasons behind the curtain that are very cloudy and difficult to understand. As it is, as an incumbent candidate on the party's ticket, I don't see it to be an issue to be filibuster. But unfortunately, up to present, since the 18th of December, I wrote the party chairman and reminding him of my ambition and craving his indulgence that I will enroll on the party's ticket. I'm yet to receive a response. And we see people masquerading and concluding that they are already on the party's ticket. Our effort at understanding what is unfolding is futile. And so that is why we say we are continuing to press on until otherwise that we can take a second decision.
So let's get it right here. Let's get it on record here, Mr. GWION. The party has just responded to your letter sent.
Since the 18th of December, I've written the party. They are yet to respond.
So what does that sound?
Copies of the letter was even circulated. Specifically, a copy was given to Gender Minister Willimenta Piso City Tar to see how fast or how best a response can be gotten. But up to press time, we are yet to get a response. probably unless I go back to Monrovia, I cannot be given a response.
Let's play into your political mind. How long you have been with this party here? Let's establish some sort of groundwork here. How long have you been affiliated with CDC?
I've been a founding member. My contribution as it comes to the establishment of the foundation of this institution sparked off in Ghana. And so specifically it's from 2005 when I started the foundation construction in Ghana for the party. Although we were not allowed as refugees to go into politics deeply, but there was a way around the clock that we managed to start the process and we succeeded. And so what I thought to do then was not just to let them go into different things, but to keep on their mind the word Congress as a key word. I decided to come about something known as the Liberia National Congress. And so what I did there then was I conglomerated the students from every institution in the camp into one unit. And we met twice a week then in 2004, 2005. And what I thought to do was, since indeed some of our kids were like 9, 7, 8, or 10 years by 1990 and did not learn anything about Liberia, so I chose to go into small Liberian history and then small civics, at the same time enshrining into the entire presentation to them or the tutorial to them, something that has to do with the political party called Congress for Democratic Change. And that's how we continue giving them the knowledge and the mind that as they return home, their only entry point should be into the Congress for Democratic Change, which of course paid off. And then from there, when I came home in 2008, I had chased out of the Ghanaian government. I started IT work with the Congress for Democratic Change in 2014. When I was 2011, I thought to enroll on a ticket, but again, it didn't work because just returning home, like I told you, and you will understand, bear with me, that democratic elections of such are capital intensive. And so they didn't see me to have a monetary value. And of course, they saw it to be like I was a stranger. They did not understand the historicity of CDC from exile and back home. So I had to spend time with the Liberty Party at the invitation of the late Councillor Walter Bronskin. And then 2014, after I lost in 2011, by 2014, I was commissioned by the party as the campaign manager. And that year was the year of Ebola. I really didn't go home with the plan of starting the campaign, but I went home in July to bury my stepmother, and just in time, Ebola erupted at the highest level, and of course, the roads were closed. I couldn't come back. So I had to break the storm and start the process, and until we got to the end, we succeeded, making CDC for the first time to have a win in Grand GEDEH County, bringing on board Senator Albert Marshall Dennis.
Okay, that's what I was coming to. So let's get to the basis here. That's what I was coming to. I know you were actively involved into the elections of Marshall Dennis, and you alluded that you did not have the capital. Election, it comes with the resources required to execute an effective election. So now you are getting into this race. Does it make sense if I have to ask you, do you have the capital now to execute this race that you are getting into?
Well, frankly, the avenues are there. By then, as I have been known by some of you, it was not the case. It made it very difficult. The tentacles were lacking. There was no way to grasp 1 or 2 pennies from anywhere as it is now. Now, in elections like these, even if I was a millionaire, I would still need my people. Most especially those who understand me and know what I stand for when it comes to alleviating the plight of our people in any way possible. And so now that I'm in touch with some of you, and today I've been given the opportunity that some of our brethren there with you are getting to understand what really my plans are, and I'm sure it's going to pay off in addition to whatever I have cultivated over the years financially for this process.
Okay, that's I like people who are persistent. So the action here, let's do a little bit here. The actions of the party that you help to nurture. I could be wrong. That's my own experience. A little push around here and there. Is that a surprise one?
Quite frankly, in life as a whole is an ultimate gamble. And once you have come to live it, you should expect some ups and downs. It's not all time that will be milky and rosary. The road will sometimes be rocky and of course crooked. but your resilience and determination and focus can lead you through.
Have you had this discussion with someone that you supported to be one of the power broker now? I'm talking about Marshall Denny, of your political quest to serve as a representative or potentially to contest for GWION district. Have you had a discussion with him or any of the lawmakers, for example?
Yes, I've had this discussion with some of them. I've had this discussion with Honorable Dr. George E.S. Bole, and of course, Senator Albert Marshall Dennis, and then Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant.
I didn't hear Senator-elect Zoe Penuni.
Honorable Senator-elect Zoe Penu, I'm yet to get to him, but we do not want to take into consideration what we are hearing on the peripheral until we can get to him. Then we can conclude that he's going to support us or not.
Okay, let's come to the cardinal issue here. GWION district is district number 1 in Grand Gita County. Previously, in the 60s, GWION was the provincial capital before turning to Zuedu. That also is a historical mark. What is going on to bring into the table for GWION district? Let's go into your playbook a little bit here. What is the cardinal reason for you contesting? What is not happening in GWION district, for example, that you intend to deliver if you have the opportunity to contest and to win?
Thank you very much, Alfonso. There is a lot that I'm bringing to the table. Firstly, let's begin with defining who a lawmaker is to his people. What are his functions? So by understanding what his functions are, can conclude exactly who he is or who she is to the people, the constituents or the constituency. There are 3 cardinal functions of the lawmaker. 1, representation. Representing the person means you are there to feel for the person, see for the person, and hear for the person. Meaning you should be able to always stand by the person that whatever is required to live a life or the well-being of the person must be sought. That's representation. 2, there must be oversight. Oversight in the sense that, for example, you serve as a watchdog over the local government of your constituency so that nothing goes wrong between the constituents and the local government. But unlike that, you will find out that, for example, yellow machines are being acquired to help keep refurbishing or, giving the county a facelift. But they will disappear in thin air except for where, like in this case, in these days now, that President Weah was coming to resurface. And we are aware that as soon as he has left, those machines will disappear again. Now, what is the role of the lawmakers if these machines are not visible and the citizens are complaining? If their oversight responsibility is being honored by them, the local government will adhere to whatever should be done by policy and principles. But that in itself shows, as it is commonly said, that silence means concern. So it means that the local government and the lawmakers themselves are into a kind of a game that will screw our people off. And so we need to take that into consideration, that there is no oversight. Once upon a time, county/social development funds will come and the benefits of the students will be tampered with. Which of course we know it should not have been that way. That also is not showing a sign that they are lawmakers or representatives of our people, just to name a few. The third aspect is no good laws. Laws that will make your people to live a life that will give them the well-being or the entitlement as citizens.
Yeah, what could be a perfect example for the benefit of our listening audience? Make a good law is just relative. What could be the perfect example of law that you think, if elected, will constitute?
At the Capitol building, lawmakers are expected to have the potential to lobby, to convince their friends so that whatever comes out will go through for their citizens. Sometimes when something falls on the table, it becomes a tussle. And when you are not strong in the tussle and then it's decreed and declared, it becomes a law against you. For example, like the establishment of institutions. The community colleges around Liberia have come into being through law that was passed, and it's fell out there. Today, if you compare the Lima County Community College with that of the GWION County Community College, there's a very big difference. I may not be very specific with the figures in terms of the annual intake from the budget, the budgetary allotment, but you will see a vast difference. The gap is wide, as though the GWION Community College is just coming into being. It's because our lawmakers are not getting into any debate. They're not pushing any point to convince those that will listen to them and do unto us as they are doing to other counties.
Wow. Okay, that's quite interesting. So let me ask a consequential question here. From all indications, you have been the grassroots of now the Congress for Democratic Change, which is the ruling establishment. And we are hearing here from the Liberia Public Radio also that the Honorable Zoe Emmanuel Penum could potentially leave the hands of one of the contestants, Gao Jeremiah Sokan. Discussion purposes, if that happens, what next for you?
Well, finally, as a member, and not just a member, but a founding member of the institution, we believe that there are some norms and culture that need to be respected within the party. And it's true, we are hearing and other people are masquerading that they are already on a party ticket, but what means we do not know. But until that can happen, we cannot speak to that as to what will be our decision. We expect our party to survive and live by our own rules and regulations. So until they can deviate and breach the protocol, we cannot speak to that now.
However, if that protocol is tempered with, you could potentially go as an independent, correct?
Well, if that would be, it all depends on what the result will be like as we're rating them, still looking forward to hearing from them. Until we can get a definite response from them, our decision is yet to be arranged.
You have gone twice, 1, 2, 3, if I'm correct. If I'm correct, is on point here based on what you are saying here. Don't you see there are some rejections of your people, perhaps that they don't see you fit or the best person suited for this job?
Come again, please.
You contested in the past, correct? At multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't you see that as a warning sign that it's a complete rejection by your people?
It's not a rejection. The party politics back home is different from modern times or from time past. And if we will compare some nations or some countries with Liberia in terms of electoral achievement, I don't think this is the first time on the face of the globe that somebody will be a loser in democratic election for 1 or 2 times. This election that I'm pursuing now is going to be my 3rd election. And I'm sure if we were to research somewhere on the face of the globe, there had been somebody who went 2, 3 times before becoming president. So it's not a rejection. Like I told you, I just came in and
neither is a crime to contest 3, 4, 5 times, right?
Exactly. It's not even a crime. And there has been no guidelines that would prohibit that.
So talk to me here. How far is the explorative team? Say you are still exploring the process here. How far are you gone? How far is your message in terms of with the people of GWION district? To take a second look at you this time, even though, like you said, you have tried multiple times, that has not worked. That is okay. That's not the end of the world. But how far the people of GWION district now? How are they taking consideration of you? What are you hearing for yourself? Does it warm you to pushing ahead with this?
Well, I'm so happy for this question because journalists move faster than individuals within a particular locality. And so while it is true that you are in the US and I'm in Zwedu, there are a lot of things you know about Zwedu that I do not know because I'm now a journalist to go thus far. To answer your question precisely, I am being accepted. Our people are resolved and are prepared to carry me. most often they want to know as to whether I'm going to party ticket or I'm going to go independent. But the issue of whether they are prepared to take me through, I can tell you for free, as the Liberian men will call it or say it, they are resolved and prepared 100%.
Support-wise as well?
Come again?
I said support-wise as well?
Indeed, support is relative. And so we can tell you yes. We can tell you yes. Whatever depth of the implication or the understanding or how you may consider it, we can tell you yes, they are prepared to support. In fact, they started supporting us already. And I say it's relative because if nobody would accept you, the first thing they wouldn't give you a seat if you went to visit them to chat your course further.
How significant?
Beyond that, the support continue to come up.
How significant for you to be awake this type of morning hours in Liberia, to echo your voice across these thousands of miles away with diasporan Grenadians, specifically your kinsmen from my GWION district? What is the rationale behind that?
The significance behind that first, before I can touch on the rationale, is the fact that I see myself as the very first person drawing the diasporan Grenadians closer to Grenada in Africa through this medium, and asking them to get fully involved with the restoration process of our county. And that we should not just sit by and see them as people to walk in the snow, up and down in strange land, sleeplessly, sitting on the feet for tens of hours, just remitting cash onto us. We should get them a space that they will have a say in the reconstruction process of our county. That's the significance. Beyond that, there are a lot of people who have now heard me for so long, and they have confidence in me that I can make a better leader for our people by this time. And so by my coming or rising up and talking with them through you, it gives them more vigor to see how best they can render their support, be it moral or financial.
Moral financial. This is what we often get from folks, and when they are given the opportunity, the diaspora is no longer counted in their playbook here. But let me just get this out to you here. If for any reason the people of GWION district give you a thought this time around, give you a chance to be elected, what specific law do you have in mind to put in place? Perhaps your first 90 days or 100 days. I am not a friend of people on Capitol Hill, the 103 men and women. They do not lobby it around. They do not. They are unable to have that political gap. So, how differently can you, Mr. Madison, can you get that going? Even if you went on the CDC ticket, will you get the courage to talk to people from the opposition side to get things to work?
What is happening is that as a lawmaker at Capitol Hill does not limit me to just being a lawmaker of Grenada County. I should be a lawmaker beyond borders if it need be an issue that needs to be filibustered or debated on the floor in favor of local county. Once there's a logic that can be pushed and I can contribute, I must get deeply involved vigorously. The same if it should be in Bapolu, in Sino, and any other county. The reason is that if I should be complacent and only sit supinely waiting until it has to do with my county, how do I lobby in the interest of my country when the time shall come? So assisting others, deriving solution to the problems in their own constituencies can push them over in terms of support as it relates to my country. That's one good strategy. That is the reason why you must be somebody with the power to lobby. And you must be willing to cooperate and collaborate with others, not just only in your interest, but in their interest when the need arises.
So what could be the law, what could be the first law that you hope to put in place to restore some sort of light to the people of GWION district? Do you have anything in mind as of now?
The first thing that I think I can push that we seem to be only in the interest of change this way, but that will take effect in the entire country, for we to be successful, is to push for a law, the passage of a law that will bring the electoral process as far as the level of the superintendent, the city mayor, and of course, as it used to be in the past, the modern way at the paramount, or township or chieftaincy level.
So you
That's
are
going to be the first law.
because
If the superintendent is to be appointed, and the appointment of the superintendent depends upon the recommendation of the lawmakers, if those lawmakers are not in the interest of the constituency, of course, it's going to be a bad effect. Oversight will not be exercised because the superintendent will be used as a hunting dog to grasp the immunities of our people and go with impunity.
That's a big one there. I remember that very well. My own father, they contested those days, and that is returning power to people in the municipality in order to elect their people instead of giving this dominant power to the executive branch of government. Getting this sort of sound by you, do you think that's something going to resonate with the party that you stay affiliated with?
It's going to resonate. If for any reason it doesn't, the Coalition for Democratic Change is not the only party, and that is what I talk about lobbying across the board.
You seems you have started.
At the Capitol building, it is all dependent upon majority rule. So when an issue is on the floor for debate, and out of about, say, assuming 30 persons, and if you can get like 20, 25 out of 30, or even 29 out of 30, you still win the floor.
Are you concerned? I watched the images coming from my own city, the provincial city of Zuedru. Gao Jeremiah Sokanta was in charge of the microphone to introduce the president to execute the program ongoing. Do you see some sort of political ploy to get him ahead of you if or he decide and you get to raise the that's another way of creating the sort of exhibition. Is that a scratching thing for you?
Frankly, to go straight to the point, I have got a kind of serious problem with that selection. And they feel that this is the way that they can market him, but it's difficult to market an unmarketable good. You understand? In those days and in our time, what we thought could resonate with the situation is, and Alphonso, many times, smart kids in the interior like these come from poor home, poverty-stricken backgrounds. Yet they are smart and they need financial help, they need exposure. So were it to be me as part and parcel of the government, what should have been done properly was to ask the school system to search for the smartest kids and select one, currently attached an age range, so that when this child is selected and the performance of the child, I'm sure, we fetch for that child some recognition by scholarship and exposure outside of this county. That would have brought relief to the parents, bring pride to the parents and the family, and of course, Grand Leaders of county would be proud. I remember time back in 1979 when Joe Boa was, spotlighted as a juniors. Zean juniors or Grand Leader juniors, and time was empty for him. Grand Leader County was proud, not because it's not me as not be proud, but the fact that time you can figure somebody about 9-10 years in the 9th grade. You understand? It made us proud that those who were looking down upon Grand Leader, and many a time when I was a kid, I usually heard some people denigrating us, referring to Grandians a bunch of monkey hunters, that there was no education here. I don't know, because there's no seaport. And so when these things come up, then we be very proud. But surprisingly, you have brought down a government official to serve as MC. It was clear that a lot were trying to sell him. Unfortunately, he was not sold because the buyers were keen. They knew where they wanted to buy. So it was not a good thing that it done yesterday. And it had become a household discussion not only in Grange, but all over Liberia, and I'm sure in part and parcel of the U.S.
Yeah, I saw that. So let's talk here. At the end of the day, we're going to be opening the lines. And folks, for those of you monitoring via our Facebook feed, you can go to www.liberiapublicradio.com to live video to audio will also be there to our YouTube channel. And for those online here, because it's calling via phone, they will make it difficult. You can send your question online. We'll pick it as well. And if there's anything called, if it is possible to merge the line, we will also do that. If you have questions, specific questions, you want to do that. I'm going to be switching gear very shortly. My panelists, they are listening, and they are also part of who are going to be happening here. But before we do that, quickly here, how much you think on top of your head that you need in terms of finances to execute your to execute an effective campaign, and not just only a winning campaign for that matter? How much do you think is there any sort of a budget on hand, Mr. GWION, communicating with the diaspora and clearly suggest to me that you need you need them to rally around you? I could be wrong.
Well, frankly, it is not a compulsion. I am seeking your assistance, and it depends upon your financial strength and your willingness as to how much each of you can afford to contribute.
Look, can you come out clean here? This is how you politicians, you always leave things hanging around. Can you tell us exactly how much you have to wage your campaign? How much do you intend, or how much you think that you need in order to wage an effective campaign?
Well, Alphonso, a campaign of such cannot be compared to a particular group in the supermarket or on the shelf in a provision shop. And so, if I am coming, it's left with me. My rapport with my people will not push me into flamboyancy that I will be a kind of an exorbitant campaign manager for myself. And so, with the rapport on the ground, it's just like getting you involved simply because, look, like I made a vow to you. I told you from time and again that I'm going to make sure when elected that I will definitely in the diaspora will be totally involved with this process. And many a time, some people may have the moral support to give. Others may have the financial support to give. So I should be accepting what you can afford to give to me. Wherever you give me, I should be able to manage with my expertise on the ground to have the campaign going.
Okay.
It is nothing like.
Yeah, go ahead.
It is nothing like I should come now to charge you, Alphonso, or brothers and sisters in the Americas. I want you to give me 10,000, give me $200, and what have you? No.
Do you have a budget in mind to execute your campaign, Mr. GWION?
Well, I'm working towards my personal budget. As it relates to Zean district, I'm working around a budget, a personal budget of $20,000 US.
20,000.
But mind you, on your side, whatever you can afford to chip in, we will be happy to appreciate you.
Do you think, responding to that question, do you think it's satisfactory? What's your personal budget? You have a personal budget and you have...
Are you asking me whether it is satisfactory with on your side or with me?
Above the both.
Come again?
I mean, I said the both.
Oh, yes, for me, it is satisfactory. Except at your end. That is why I will not tie you to a particular point.
Okay. I'm not sure what hopefully you will get the audio on the basis what I was asking about Jeremiah. So can we manage to obtain this video? Hopefully you get the audio and our folks they're going to listen to it. And right after that, I'm going to be switching gear to our panelists, our senior contributor analyst. We want to welcome Leo, senior analyst based in Canada, of course. Professor Asese Labota Zawo is here near the capital of outside of the capital, Washington, D.C., actually Baltimore area. And also he runs institutions in Liberia, of course. Antonin Gay, up here, a contributor, understanding, also leaning on us, which is okay. And the independent analyst Amos George. Let me play the audio here. Hopefully, you will get it. GWION, and then you can talk about that.
Let me recognize Chairman and entire of the. Let me recognize when I was walking in, all the youth and everyone about to cry, and all the gallant men of Zeppelin. Let me also recognize our distinguished fourth estate men in the media who always make sure that the masses understand every unfolding at every moment. The fourth estate. Today, I am happy and I am glad to be here. I'm happy because you have given and given an opportunity to an astute son of Grand GEDEH County. The next 10 years minus 1 to have our county and lead our county to a different level. Leadership is a broad thing. It's difficult. If you've never been in it, it is easy. So I take on my heart to the senator, the brand new senator of Grand GEDEH County. I want to say congratulations, honorable senator.
Okay. That's it. That I know the audio is kind of a little bit poor. The brand new senator of Grand GEDEH County. That was Gao Jeremiah Sokan, that are the resident of Zo Emmanuel. And, I'm quite sure you had the opportunity to listen to that. Are you there, Iro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You had the opportunity to listen to that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's just to validate my point. Folks, for those of you monitoring via Facebook, you can send your question. I know we have had a little conversation. Those who want to call, you can call in. Let me just put the number here. I don't want to lose him, so let me just put the number here. But before I put the number out, is there any specific thing that you wish I would touch on and I didn't you want to mention before we can take some phone calls?
Well, I'm sure we've got a lot of time to come for this particular discussion and exercise. And so for now, I wouldn't mind if we can go directly to the question and answer period.
Okay. So have you taken a trip with ancient district from Monrovia? Have you been visiting the district area, strategic area? Have you been visiting?
Yes, I've been moving around the district.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
As you know, that the electoral district is limited to Zwedru. Unlike an administrative district that should be taken into the Cannon Belt, the Chairmanson Belt, the Chairmanian Belt, the Bowie Belt, and so on. So I'm just within the vicinity of Zwedru City as an electoral district number 1.
Okay. How many towns in that district that do you know?
The electoral district now has got 56 communities, which is Zwedru City. It's not like the administrative district that extended into towns.
Okay. All right. Let me go back. Let me go to this here, hopefully here. And please just ask your question and then we'll get you off. Ask your question and then you will answer. Okay, let me go to this number here. 610 number calling from Pennsylvania. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Pennsylvania.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for coming in. What's your question?
My question is, I want to know how many chain people running.
Ooh, that's a hard one there. How many chain people? Okay, just stay there quickly here. Madison, do you want to answer that question?
Yes, of course, I can answer the question. Up to press time, I'm aware of about 4 chain persons running.
Okay, 4 chain persons?
Yeah, that's what I know of.
Okay, that's what you know of. So, okay, apart from the 4 chain people, what a different person are running against the chain people?
No,
it's Jeremiah Soka.
He alone?
Yes.
Okay. Because the reason I'm asking this question, the reason I'm asking the question for the day I heard because they told me 14 people running my job on the 100th month. Because it has to be that guy. But my own parent, I ain't got problem with you running. Trust me, I ain't got no problem with you. It's in my favor, but I don't know about the other people.
Okay.
But it's because 14 people running, it's not good because the number they were sharing, that's why I can bring the problem.
Okay, let's go to the next caller here. And remember now, it's a district, so everybody has the right to run, but that's the view. Thank you so much for calling in. Let me go to this next caller here. Very familiar number, but let he introduce himself, and I will be going back to my panelists. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Fred.
Okay,
I don't know what you're talking to me. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. GWION, as a former national president of the GEDEH Association, I welcome. What's your question?
Yeah, thank you, Alphonso. Iro, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We try to meet, but we could not meet. But I have this quick question for you. I know you ran 3 times. This will be a 3rd time. At any point, did you ever run on the ticket of Liberty Party of that seat?
Yes, my first attempt, 2011, it was Liberty Party.
Okay, so when you say being a sedition and being one who organized and for being a founding member, you want to clear that up. And I'm asking this question because this is politics. Things come out. You want to clear that up?
I like to clear it out. If you follow my exposé from the onset, I mentioned that when I came home, people in Liberia, specifically did not really know us. And so the institution, CDC, was considering those who were sponsoring them at the time. And we lacked cash at the time, given our plight as it relates to the way we came home. Even wherever we galvanized, it's still in the hands of Ghanaians. And so because of that, we were not giving a face. So it had to take time for them to understand to return home. It was in that vein that the late Pastor Charles Walker Bronson invited me to showcase on his ticket. I hope I'm clear.
Okay. Second, any question? Any question is Mr. GWION before I go to the panelists?
No, not really. Just a little statement.
Okay.
Alfonso, if you can give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds before I go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. GWION. I know your name and he almost sound like the same, but they're 2 different names. But you know, the district needs help. And we have been underrepresented. And I can tell you this: I met with Jeremiah 3 times when I was in Morovia. I myself look at the possibility of even running because I thought, you know, we needed help. We are listening. We really want to listen to some of the ideas and listening to you tonight. I mean, you really presented yourself well. If I know the first time I ever encountered you, I never seen you before. And I think that our first meeting was when you were on the state capital, when the GEDEH mountain issue was going on. And when I called that money, you were one of the person I spoke to. And then I have developed, you know. And that's why I asked this question, because I know the first time you ran, when I supported you, I knew you were with Liberty Party. So that's why I asked this question.
Okay.
But anyway, thanks for appearing. Yeah.
Okay. So I hope this is going to be a continuing process, hopefully. Thank you so much, Mr. GWION. Guys, just bear with me here. Let me go to this other number here, 267 number 8611. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
My name is good evening. My name is Edward Doro. I'm speaking from Parco, North Dakota.
Mr. Doro, welcome. What's your question?
Thank you. No, I just want to commend GWION for his presentation. We assure everybody that our fellow Liberians in particular, that we have to come out and make a sound and rewarding decision in supporting GWION.
Okay, let's go to the question quick. Okay, is that all that I want us to go, because the line is bossing here, so we can give people enough time to ask their question or say something. Thank you so much.
No, that's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me go to This guy, Exetorate, for the voice of Isanot, one of the best in this business here. Exetorate, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, I know anything concerning Green GEDEH is Maryland, is River G, and local, because we need productive people in both houses of our government. Let's go into your playbook. What's your questions? You listened to him extensively. What did he leave out? Do you think you want to bring to light?
No, I just have a question. I also want to recognize Mr. GWION. He actually taught me when I was in school in Ghana. So we want to appreciate him for the little education.
Okay, start putting the little nickel and down together now.
So, Mr. GWION, my question is, I listened to your deliberation. You said you ran 3 times. My thing, what were the factors that led to your relegation, and what are you doing right now to get those factors in place so that history will not repeat itself?
Okay.
Well, I actually ran 2 times. This is my 3rd time.
Okay.
Now, I want you to understand that from the beginning when we returned home, most especially, people were just resurrecting from destitution. And on top of that, the process was being dollarized to the extent that people did not really put into voting the mind of looking for a proper and a good leader. It was like a queen contest where the one that poured more cash became the winner. And so to alleviate this situation is not an event, but rather a process. And that is the reason why I accepted to showcase in 2011 whatever party that went on, why I didn't go on CDC's ticket, that was the same problem. Cash was the problem. And so as a person, most especially like you just mentioned, I am an old teacher. I know within myself that Rome was never built in one day's time. It needed time to convince our people until they can be able to understand. So from that time to where we are, I'm quite sure enough is being inculcated into their minds as it relates to actual democratic elections.
Okay, how about you? Before I let you go, you spoke of dollarization of the political process. Has that been addressed?
Yes, indeed, it's been addressed. That the electors themselves are seeing what we were speaking about in yesteryears. And so to show or to prove to you that it's been addressed, the result of this election clearly from the ground itself can tell you. And so let's wait and see.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. As a Torek, let's keep it brief. Possibly we can't. A lot of phone calls coming in here. 267 number 8611. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from? 267-8611. Caller, are you there? Okay, airplane can blow home. All right, 5515-4171. Are you there from Des Moines, Iowa?
Yeah, this is KZ Manopor.
KZ Manopor, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
What's your question? What's your question?
Yeah, my question is, I listen to my big brother, the law region very fine. But my question is that I understand that was able to convince Justice Ronald Clark, who contested before Israel, at the same time, he also convinced Ronald Yombao City, who also pledged his support to him. But the question is why, but now he cannot reach out to the other 4 guys to see reason also to join him in the process.
I know that you're not reaching. Okay, let him answer it. Mr. Madison, are you there? Mr. GWION?
Yes, of course, I'm here.
Okay. You heard the brother?
Well, the question, I would like for the question to be conclusive because the names of Ronald Yombao City were mentioned, but the 4 guys he's talking about, I don't know. It's possible the 4 guys are from Bapolu.
I'm talking about. I'm discussing the 4 guys you're talking about who are also contesting in Sweden. I mean, in district.
Oh,
and for
okay,
the chain belt, yeah.
It's clear, Honorable. Frankly, the coming over of Justice Ronald Clark, Ronald Young Power City, and the rest of them is not just now. In 2017, when I lost the elections, these guys were also part of those who lost the elections from different parties. And so what I thought to do, that is also part of my sacrifice and hard work for the Coalition for Democratic Change. Strategically, I chose to quickly put into place an organization that would beef up the campaign spirit in the county. And so I thought to rally all candidates that did not win from different parties to join me into an organization styled and named Grand GEDEH Movement for the election of George Weah. And we were able to,
with our panel.
Thank you. We were able to go to every nook and corner of this county, giving a massive win against the ruling party. Now, let's to the 4 guys that are in the playing field now with me. Most especially the 10 guys, like Festa City, yeah,
Siwaso,
Alpha, Siwaso. It's a process, and I can show you that before we reach the 11th hour, you will hear a good sound from here. I do not want to speak specifically to the names of those that I'm now talking to and I see positivity from. But here I show that before we reach the 11th hour, to be opposed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, before I go to the next question. Yeah.
Yeah. The other point I want to make is about Europe managing to run on the Labour Party, ticket before. I mean, when it comes to CDC, Marshall Denny is a 40 members in 2005 for CDC. Most during the past, there are some small problems. Sometimes other candidates will see disenchanted. Sometimes they will go to different party. So in upstream, Marshall Denny also ran on LTP ticket before as a 40 member of CDC, but CDC could not accept him at the time, 2011, and he ran on LTP, so he can happen to anybody.
Okay.
So that's the issue, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, let me go to this number here. Let me see, let's see, Wilson. Hold on 1 second, I'll try to recognize the number. 267, there's a number here. Is that Wilson? I can't see the last, I can't see the number that well. But there's a number here, 267-8611. Are you there? 267-8611.
Yeah, I have my time.
Are you there? 8611 number. Yeah, go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
So I was speaking earlier. This is Doro.
Oh, okay. But then we got to just free the line so that other way call. Thank you. All right. Okay, there's other caller here. Wilson. I can't see the number here well. Are you there? Another caller? There's a number on the phone. Are you there? I think you can ask private. Okay. What's your name and where are you calling from, man?
I'm calling from Minnesota. My name is Comfort Wilson.
Comfort Wilson. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. You've been listening to Mr. GWION. Do you have a question for him?
Yes, I just want to know which ticket is he running on first, and then the last one.
Okay, it's good to get it from the house's mouth. I know he has addressed that. Mr. GWION, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You say which ticket?
But to answer the question, I am a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change, and so I'm very optimistic of running on the party's ticket.
Okay. And I think he heard you talking about finances and what have you. Right on this line, I can contribute $100 toward the campaign where you guys are going to,
Okay, just hold on, Madam Wilson. I saw somebody writing cash. Let me just go straight to Anthony Gay. Anthony Gay, is he here? He always off and on. Anthony Gay, are you there? This is I'm not sure who is here. I know he's representing the interest of the campaign. Can anybody who is working with his exploratory team, can you put a cash out number up so we pin it? You know, my campaign, and I fire some people right away because that's how they're going to lead you on the highway. These are things they're supposed to have ready. Are you there, Madison? Madison, are you there? Hello? Okay, I think Madison went off. Okay, Madam Wilson, thank you so much. I guess hopefully he's going to call back so that we can get it doing. What his name said, Gay, can you put a number out? These are information you need to make available before coming. All right, thank you so much. I come for if they come back. Hopefully we're going to get a number out. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to switch now. Let me go to this other number here. 503 number. Are you there? Right now we have Mr. GWION off, and hopefully you're going to call back here. 503. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So,
okay.
Can I ask some question he is asking?
Okay, hold on. He's calling back yet. Hold on. Let me just pull you up. Okay, Ira, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Yeah. Anthony, can you please put the number out there so that people who want whatever they need to do, they're gonna do it? You probably it already. Where you put it? I can't see any number here. Can you send that number? Anthony does not have the ability to pin number here, so you need to send it to me or write it out there, and then I can make an adjustment. Just send it to my inbox, and I will put it there. Okay, go ahead quickly here. Caller 503, Mr. GWION is here.
Okay, yeah, this is Mikey S. Mano, and I just want to ask a question to the honorable man. I really want to know their relationship when it comes to administrative or action. The reason I'm asking this question is the structure has not, it hasn't really started yet, but people see the tension between both groups. So I don't know if those politicians that want to represent the county, are they working together? Or the guy that kind of differences because the tension is getting big. The person has not even begun. So I don't know how they work together. Are they like enemies or they are teams working because they are seeking the betterment of the county? That's what I want to know.
Okay, Mr. GWION, can you go to that?
Well, the tension is brewing among the candidates. I don't know what specifically you mean. As far as I'm concerned, two persons opposing one another will not agree with each other until what is in South can be done by either person. But as far as we're concerned, we've got no tension with anybody, except for those who do not really see themselves fit.
Yeah, I'm speaking about the growth of nationality in the field and the followers who keep talking. And this man is a man that carries all those kind of noise.
Okay.
We all have people
We're not. Look, Judge, we're not going to investigate here. The people have a good year. Politics are not no children game. If you're wearing diaper, don't get involved in politics. Okay, let me go to this number here, and I want to get my analyst chance here as well. 267 number, are you there? 267 number, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, please lower your monitor. 267 number 8229, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Okay. President, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Mr. Madison GWION for his declaration. But I have a question. And my question is, most of the people back home, they can say, oh, the person have not lived with us here, the person from America. So these are the development that we're having of getting position in the country because we are not in Liberia. Now, my question is, how long have you been in Zwedru since the election, the last election that he didn't win? How long have you been in Zwedru? Is he always there, or you want to move to Morovia, only to come back again this time to say you want it?
Thank you very much. If I really understood you, you said for those of you who are outside the country,
yes,
finding it difficult getting jobs.
Right.
But you are not saying those outside Zwedu. So to be specific in responding to your question, I'm not outside the country. I'm vacillating between countries and I'm still in Liberia. I think that's the most important thing. Constitutionally, even if you wanted to vie for a higher position, Constitution will tell you how long you should live in the country, most especially if you want to be president. And of course, it's not a presidential job that I'm looking for.
Yeah, is that a presidential job? I know what I'm trying to say. I'm saying are you there living in Zwedu? I mean, I'm talking about living in Zwedu. I'm not talking about living in country, but whether you live with the people too in Zwedu or because of election, that's why you go back.
Well, what we need to understand or inculcate here is that all the facility that has to do with modernization or urbanization cannot be found in Zwedu. So there will always be a high quest that people will leave the rural area for the urban area to better all their lives or to, further their education and other things. So if you would be stagnant in Zwedu, how do you gallop to the city and do things that you're supposed to do? And Zwedu is not closer to Monrovia like Buchanan is, or like Tomebo is to say, I will live in Tomebo and come to Monrovia to seek other things.
So it means that until you can become representative, you will always be in Monrovia.
If I'm representing always be in Monrovia, then how do I give my biannual report or my quarterly report? It has to be done in Zwedu.
Okay, I think I got the point.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mr. So.
All right, thank you. Let me go to this number here, 971. But let me read out the cash out number we just received from the clerk. If you want to donate, is the cash out. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting a lot of feedback here on this number. Okay, the number there is 763-703-3885. That's for cash up, and for Zelle is 763-703-3885. I believe the same number. So come for you donated $100. You can just send that to that number and we'll receive it. Let me go back to this number here, 971 number 4650. Caller, are you there? What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Bernard Goa, and I'm calling from Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Mr. Goa, good to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
What's your question?
Well, I don't have a question, but I am really happy that Mr. GWION is on the line, and I think that GEDEH County as a whole should be very proud of Mr. GWION. I have worked with Mr. GWION over the years at the Salvation Army School, Middle High School. And some of the young people from GEDEH today, some of them are working in the foreign government, and some of them that are in the United States, in Europe, and other places. It was through the help of Mr. GWION, especially after the April 6th war. At that time, it was very difficult for Grenadians to attend St. Patrick's and all those other schools. But Lee Middle was there to open arms to them. And when they came, they didn't have school fees. So what Mr. GWION did, I went to Mr. GWION and I said, Mr. GWION, this is the situation that we have here. When they go to Scotland High and other places, they tell the kids that they didn't pass the entrance, mathematics. So we got involved. We wanted to know what was going on. It was a crime. It was a crime at that time to just be a Grenadian in Monrovia. And Era Madison GWION stood up to the occasion and said, look, we're going to talk to the missionary. You don't have money. You can brush in the yard and you're going to go to school. And we, okay, they can go to school. All they have to do is clean the schoolyard. It was difficult times. And this brother stood up to the occasion. So I am really, really happy. And that's not all. I worked with Mr. GWION in Ghana when we had almost 42,000 refugees, dominantly Grenadians. And Mr. GWION stood up to the occasion again. The GEDEH Development Association in Ghana.
Okay, so Goa, we have other callers here to make it short here. What is the bottom line?
where I think the people of Grand GEDEH should support Mr. GWION, and I will support Mr. GWION myself because I know what he can do, and I think he's fit for this job.
Are you kicking it off right now?
Come again?
Are you kicking it off right now to bring others on board?
Yes, others can come on board, and I want to tell you thank you for allowing me to speak on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go to a very familiar number. He once served as member of the TLA, that is the Transitional Interim Assembly, two-time former national president of the Grand GEDEH Association. President Timothy Collins is on the line from Baltimore area. Mr. President, are you there?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Alphonso, for having me. How you doing?
Great. This is our kitchen. Timothy Collins does not usually place a call, but making this call here, I'm getting a little bit nervous here. What's going on?
Well, it all has to do with the restoration of our county. And I listen keenly to Ero. I know him personally, and I follow his leadership drive. I think for Grand GEDEH right now, the idea of having good leaders that will be able to restore our country is very essential at this time. And I feel that just from hearing what he's saying and his plans for the country is something that, for those of us that love the country, needs to look at keenly and see whether we can be able to support him. We have a lot of lawmakers down there. We complain every time that there's nothing going to our place. I just wrote a piece saying, that if we want to enjoy the benefit of the country and some of the resources in Liberia, we need to have people to speak on our behalf. So I don't have a question. I just want to say, Mr. Ero, you will have my support 100%. And I hope, I just saw my brother speaking. I'll get back in touch with him. We're going to put together. We have already put together a conference of Ero here. And we're going to make sure we do everything we can so that the people of Grand GEDEH can have a leader like you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if you wish, you can stay unless you are making phone calls now. So is that a super PAC now being initiated here this evening on LPR or GWION?
Well, on a breaking note, that's a super PAC. I do a seminar.
Okay, if you want to stay, please stay on this line here. If there's any information we need, that's okay as long as you want to. I have a number here, 410 number 9369. But let me just read out the cash at number 2. I don't want support. God does sweet, but when we somebody, I think Comfort was kicking off here with $100. So if you want to support, if you know Ero taught you whatever in Ghana, hey, it's time to pay back. Let me read out the cash out number 763-703-3585, and the Zelle number is the same 763-703-3585. What a strategic move by the exploratory committee, because cash out, you just get a ref on your phone and send it. You don't have to go to a bank and find a COVID there. Let me go back to here, 410 number.
Let me just tell you, let me just say this, while I'm waiting on the line. Just a couple of weeks ago, or 3 or 4 weeks ago, we established our friends of Ero after we had a lengthy discussion with him. We spoke to other people that are also deciding to contest, and we found out that he would be the best person suited for this position at this time. We established the friends of Ero, and in less than 3 weeks, we got 72 persons that signed up for it. People pledging a lot of money. Personally, we have what for Ero, and our goal is to raise pretty close to $20,000 before March 15th.
Yeah, before I just click over to Madam Wilson, you said personally we have over what?
Presently, we have over $3,000 cash on hand. We
$3,000.
have pledges ranging pretty close to $7,000, and our goal is to be able to raise pretty close to $20,000 so that Grand GEDEH can have the leader that they deserve to be able to carry on our work on the ground.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Ooh. I think, Ero, are you getting a glass of drink hearing this news that you're hearing? Okay. Let me go to this number here. 410 number, and I'll go back to Madam Wilson. 410 number 9369. Caller type. Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. So I'm GWION.
Okay.
Calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. GWION.
Thank you. I'm brother from Cuba, and I hope that my question to him will be of whatever comes to the future of and the woman. Since I've been knowing myself as an adult, we have produced smart lawmakers, but they have not come up with something at the temple of justice or wherever they work. The interest of the that is, there are lots of rape cases in that county, and nothing has been done. So I would like to know if Mr. GWION is elected representative of Grand GEDEH County, will he make a difference so that our girls and women will not be marginalized, raped, and other negative attributes that they encounter in that county? I pose for now.
They can't eat in your own bed. Mr. GWION, are you there?
Yes, thank you. I got him clear. Okay. For me, this as an era of women and children. And so you will note that I, Aaron Madison GWION Sr., will really rise up to the venture around or female women. And so I can give you the assurance that this is one aspect we will look at. I think that will also be included onto my write-up as it relates to my platform, most especially as I consider education and giving keen attention to we protect some very vulnerable and their vulnerability needs a safe existence. I'm going to rise up to that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead quickly before I go to the next number.
Yeah. I want to thank you, big brother. You know, it sometimes sounds biased if you come out to speak on behalf of men that you know. And I know you very well. All that you are dancing for the past weeks, there are things I know when you are elected into the house to implement. And the problem in our country of Liberia, Africa as a whole, you find a man who does not believe in the common sense, let's share it. But who will say, let's take it back to our people. You'll find a lot of opposition in this kind of direction now that you are taking. So I urge you tonight, and I urge Nigerians and Liberians as a whole, this is about time that we make the right choice so that tomorrow our children will have a brighter future. Today is ours, but tomorrow will be our children. So let us put aside, let's share it. We are here. Let's eat it and forget about them. The simple Liberian English. I'm with you, and I hope every Liberian is Nigerian to be there for you. Thank you so much, Mr. So, for creating the opportunity that our people are able to hear my brother too. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to Comfort. After Comfort, I'm going to be getting the take from the panelists. They are listening extensively. I think they all have interest in this. So let me go to Comfort. Comfort, are you there? Comfort, Madam Wilson, are you there? Okay. President Collins, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Wilson, do you want to say something? I want to switch to my panelists. They have listened extensively. President, you want to say something? Because I want to be switching the audio and go to the panelists to get their initial reaction.
Yes, I just want to say thanks to the leadership of LPR, especially you, Alphonso, for having you all. And I just want to urge Prinjiden here is not about, you know him personally, is what we should do. We need to restore our county. We need to stop complaining. We have the ability to do that, and we got capable people that can start the process. ERAW is a pilot project that we're using. We're going to continue this in 2023 to make sure we got enough good people that will come back home to help to change what's going on in our country for the better. So I just want to thank you, and I hope Nigerians will listen keenly. I'm not a chain person, even though I'm a resident of Chain District. I'm putting the best, and I think ERAW at this time can do better for our country.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm going to be switching gears. Comfort is not hearing me, but before I go to my panel, Mr. Madison, I didn't hear anything about the future of the young generation floating all around there, sour, putting backpacks on their back, I didn't hear anything. Do you want to speak to that before I go to my group, my panelists? Are you there?
Hello, come again.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything so far about the young people of GWION if elected as representative. What would be the future of the youth instead of putting backpacks on their back and screaming and yelling? What do you have anything special in mind for them?
Yes, thank you, Mr. So. You know, that is one major reason why I'm into this thing. If you look around in Grand GEDEH today, some of those our young people consider as their laws are not even prepared to help them out. Go on the Facebook and see what is written there by some of them. Some of them hardly distinguish the pronoun I from the verb are in terms of grammatical. Shows that there is a need to give them attention, you know, take them back to the classrooms that will be developed. When I get into Grandian politics at this level, the amount of gray hairs you found on my head, I didn't have. It shows that my time is rapidly, you know, getting away. So who is there to replace us tomorrow when we are not around? That is my concern. So it means that they're going to form a core of my process that I have to spin, making sure that they will be considered and equipped or improved or developed so that they can replace us. For instance, if you enter any town now, and all of the citizens of that town are elders. It shows that that town will soon dissolve. But anytime you enter and you find a lot of kids, they've got a long lifespan, they have to grow, mature, and reach our level. By then, they would have gone longer and longer than the other town with the older people. And so we must take responsibility of the younger ones. Most of them know not what they are doing now. And so they will need a leader like me that will be there for them, help them get out of the slumber. Thank you.
Okay, well, folks, I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR. Okay, let me switch gear and go to the panelists. A lot has been here. The race is on please, let me see. Let me just go back here to the panelists and we're going to be having them. Okay, from Atlanta, Georgia, senior analyst Amos George, independent. And Leo Johnson is based in Canada, right here. Of course, Professor Ase Se Labot Zawolo is also here. And the liberal progressive of the Liberia Public Radio, Liberty Party's base member, Something Brown Bloku from Totown, Grand GEDEH, is here. We are talking about GWION District number 1. Gentlemen, are you guys there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so let me see where I can start from. Amos George, let me start from you. I'm going to be switching the audio. He's on the phone. Something to engineer. He has not gone to. Oh no, that's not a rule. I'm sorry. Something I'm looking for flower on you. Let me go to Pa George. Pa George, you listen to Mr. GWION. For us here, you know, we hold everybody accountable to whatever they didn't. Do you have any question for him?
Yes, I got a question for Mr. GWION, and I want to thank him being very articulate in presenting himself to the people of Grand GEDEH and that of Liberia. But my first question will have to do with this. Can Mr. GWION tell me or tell us what you would do differently from that of Honorable Zobin and non-senator-elect of Grand GEDEH that he did not do?
I got to go back to the audio. Give me a minute, and I'm going to be coming back. Mr. GWION, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what can you do differently that Honorable Zoe Emmanuel Pennon did not do for people of GWION District now until you are working towards it to do it? Anything different?
Well, like I said, your predecessor is where you begin from. And most of what I've got to do are nothing new, but things I've experimented that work well.
Example?
First is that I'm considering education.
Okay.
And I would like to carry out an educational fund drive in commemoration of the legacy of the late President Samuel Canyon Doe, like I did in yesteryears. Start and name the Samuel Canyon Doe Educational Foundation. That's one. Two, I'm going to look at infrastructural development. Infrastructural development in two folds. One has to do with continuing to maintain the streets. For instance, those streets that were paved since the 80s. Today, if you went to Zwedru, you will see the sidewalks that you cannot easily walk on them because, I mean, they are wearing away. And it takes nothing but just cement to furbish them. The streets are cracking. Some of them have got, ditches in them. Even if we cannot afford to get quota like other counties and other cities, we can use concrete to patch all the pit holes and get the streets to be smooth again. Then, of course, let's look at the only facility that we saw when we were coming up right by the palace, which was known as the Zwedru Motel, around where our LBDI bank is now. It's a complete slum, a shanty town. All Zean shots you look for are there. And you realize that those who live in there are government officials in their own city. So they need to be evacuated. It's nothing to hide. And that place be refurbished. And whatever fees will be, collected from them as rental fees, can help the city council for upkeep.
Okay.
Just to name a few. Then, of course, we want to introduce the idea of this agro competition.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, all right. Okay, thank you so much. Just keep it concise so that I can give everybody the chance. Let me go back. Okay, I know when you talk about role, you go into the liberal progressive era as an engineer. Let me go to Professor Alphonso Laborde. First, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you listen to Mr. GWION working on the path to Capitol Hill. What's your take?
I wish him well. I wish him well. I hope, I was a little bit scared and I'm a bit concerned by some of the comments he made about his own party, our party, CDC. I will advise that he will take back those statements, or be a little bit more careful as he makes the kind of characterization of a party whose ticket he wants to run on. To begin to make such comments like the party was looking for people to finance them or sponsor them to put them on the ticket, and having concern already about the possible potential primary process in the party. I'm scared. I'm scared, and I'm concerned. As a seditian, I'm concerned about his level of respect that he's showing for the party. I don't know what he wants to speak to that.
Okay. All right. Fair to say. As it says, Professor Zawlo is a strong sedition to support the agenda of the government of the Republic of Liberia. That's the diversity that we bring to this table here. Let me ask him for fairness. Let me go to Mr. GWION if he wants to respond to that. But I'll just keep that going on. Let me go to the Liberal. The Liberal came in late. We're going to do it in order of stuff yet. Let me go to our contributor, Mr. Alphonso, a London advocate, formerly with the Cali Justice and Peace Commission, is currently in the USA. Mr. Yunon.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, I guess you've been taking down some notes here. Let's share the notes here with us here. You listen to Hero. I know he's no strangers to you. What's the first thing you have in your book that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I know Era. I know Era from Zwedru, and then I also know Era from Monrovia. So I hope Era remembers me as well. Yeah, so two key things. Maybe this is not a question to Era per se, but two key things. A lot of things, but two key things that I want to talk about that kind of came up during his discussion with you. One of the things that came up is really troubling for me, but and it's not limited to Zwedru or to Grand GEDEH, is the issue of GEN people who are running in the district versus non-GEN people who are running in the district. This is an electoral political district. And when we are discussing leadership, it should be about what people are capable of doing or people's track record, not necessarily their ethnicity. So that's a little troubling for me on several levels. Because there might be people running GEN. So GEN district, that GEN electoral district or district number 1, and I believe that's precisely the reason why it's called district number 1, not GEN people district. And the requirement to run a district institution of Liberia and as per election law. So I'm a little concerned when the issue comes up about how many GEN people running. Are you GEN? Is the other man GEN? And ERA responded that there are 4 GEN people, and then there's Jeremiah Sokan, which suggested to me that Jeremiah Sokan is not GEN. And so we are about now to divide, the electorate between GEN people and non-GEN people. That's a little concerning to me. One of the things that's also concerning to me is the fact that CDC, the party that ERA helped found, has twice now not carried him as a candidate. This time around, CDC has also not even responded to his letter that was sent in December, asking them to carry him as a candidate. Those 2 issues are concerning. I don't know if they're issues he wants to respond to, but those are issues that stood out to me.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back to Ira, and then I'll bring in our man Leo from Canada. Ira, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
That there was feedback on Mr. was talking.
Okay, so he has a concern that since you wrote the party, they has not addressed it. Nobody has gotten back to you, and the issue of people asking how many GEN people running. And except Jeremiah Sokan, that seems to be a little bit a divided house. Do you want to respond to that?
Certainly.
Go ahead.
Normally democratic elections are a complete process. Today we are vying to go to the lawmaking house. What is important is your ability to convince your friend and pull him over. And I can show you this is what we are embarking upon. So the number of 10 people running, yes, of course, seem to be alarming, but I'm of the conviction, and I can show you, like I said earlier, in the soonest possible time, the number is going to be reduced drastically.
Okay. Do you want to respond to Professor Zablo too, that there were some comments that you made against his party, which he's also a strong supporter of CDC? You want to respond to that?
Yes, let me do justice to that too. But can you help me repeat the question? Because there was a feedback as well.
Okay. The guy is still alive. Let me just go back to him and listen. I don't want to misquote him. Professor?
Yeah. I indicated that, Mr. Gwen, you made some comments about your party, the CDC. In fact, in one of the statements, you indicated that the party was interested in people who could carry it or sponsor it. And also, you also made almost an open threat that you may not even run on the party ticket. I find those comments, unbecoming of a person who's seeking the party's nomination. And I want you to clarify, on the comments.
Okay. All right. Are you there, Madison?
Yes, not the same. Can you please help me?
Okay. He having that apprehension here. There were comments that you made regarding the CDC. He's asking you to either retract those statements or those comments. Or do you want to further expand on it, to speak on it?
What are the statements specifically, please?
Say it again.
What are the statements specifically?
It appeared that you don't trust the party.
Basically, what he's saying, it appears from what he's hearing from you that you do not trust the party. Is that correct?
That I'm not from the party?
You do not trust the party. You have apprehensions about the party.
I didn't say I don't trust the party. I was asked as to whether if the party does not enroll me on a ticket, what would be my next option? And I said, as far as I'm concerned, there are rules and regulations, and I expect the party to survive by them. So until otherwise, I cannot speak to that. That was my response.
You said more than, more than, but I think we're ready to put that. You said more than.
Okay, Leo, let me bring you in.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just have go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Leo. I know you've been listening for a little while.
Yeah, I just have a little bit of a concern that I've always held. When I listen to, I mean, first of all, great job on really outlining and presenting yourself very well. And your intention is clear that you're pretty passionate about GWION and Liberia in general. My concern is there is this trend that I have personally been against of people, I don't know if we fully understand the roles and responsibility of a representative or a senator. And I am just very concerned that most of the commitments being made tonight and the way things have been spoken about is very unrealistic, in my opinion. Because if we look at the role of a senator or the role of a member of the House of Representatives, it's very specific. Now, there is nothing wrong with people going above and beyond to do more than just that role. But within the current environment that we operate, with the Liberian government itself trying to figure out how it can generate more revenue to get things going, with our current system and the level of disconnect, with us living a constitutional crisis where nobody in Liberia can clearly independently verify who a Liberian citizen is. According to the United Nations, 65% of our people have no record of their existence because they don't have a birth certificate, or if they never travel, or any document to prove that they are Liberian citizens. When I hear someone like yourself running to be a member of the House of Representatives, Mr. GWION, I'm concerned that you're talking about everything else. You're talking about everything else except the actual role of what a constituent members of the House should be talking about. But also I'm concerned that our people now have been misled and miseducated to think that it is the role of the members of the House of Representatives to be building the roads, to be building the schools, to be building the hospitals, when the truth is this role is supposed to be you providing the oversight and the type of legislation that will empower the executive through the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Education to do their job. So I'm just wondering here, what is your strategy for the type of commitments that you're making to the people of GWION? When the truth is, I'm struggling to see how realistic that those type of commitments are.
Mr. GWION, you want to respond?
Yes, I would like to respond, but there is always a feedback at this point. I don't know why.
Okay, it's apprehension that we're running between video audio and the phone audio, so it's like, but Anthony, you have to, there's some noise coming from your background there. For those of you on the phone, please, you can be having a conversation. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'll have to get some people off. Okay, Ira, are you there?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, what he's concerned with is, I know you spoke about roads and streets and all of that. But his concern is that the ultimate job of lawmakers is to put in place a piece of legislation that will navigate or that will create the room these things going to be. But you seem to be making a lot of promises here, committing yourself. Perhaps that's something he needs clarification.
No, when I talk about refurbishing the streets, it's not going to be cash from my pocket. Many a time there will be a county sitting so that the budgetary allotment for the counties will be discussed. And this is where you put in place a committee, a development committee that will chair everything and make sure that whatever they come up with will be put to the citizens. And when accepted, you go by it. And I'm sure if these committees will be put in place individually, whatever they come up with will be brought on the table.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't think if an allotment for the district will be discussed, and then probably most often as a leader, you have to take the lead way, direct the path, and let your people know what is the benefit, what is not good for them, and then they decide.
And when I mean, you need to correct them, you go ahead and correct them. So what I'm saying here is not that I'm going to get cement by myself to pave the street or to refurbish them. But the district council will discuss, and these are points I will put before them, and they will discuss and advise me, and then we endorse and go about it to do it.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I have a quick follow-up, Mr. So, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, where is the money expected to come from? Based on everything we know, even the county development funds, counties are being owed years back right now because of the government's revenue situation right now. So how could we be making commitment for allocating resources and funds when the truth is these resources do not exist based on everything we know so far? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where is this money coming from for these allocations?
Okay. All right, Mr. GWION.
Yes, quite frankly, I think we also agree that even if it becomes once in a while, it is stipulated that there will be county development funds. One, there will also be social development funds. Now, what is important is the allotment per district, per county. Those responsible should be able to discuss and properly implement the usage. That's what we are talking about. We are aware that the socio-economic problem in the country is very hard and getting tough every day. But that does not mean it will not improve. And that does not mean in the midst of all of that, county development funds are not being allotted and county sitting are not being conducted. These things are happening.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the Liberal Progressive. I patiently waiting here. He is an engineer by profession. I don't know when he's going to be going to Liberia to face Totan Road. Mr. Totan, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I thought you were talking about Joseph Bakai, who was parking in the garage for all these years. But I'm glad that you're talking to me. I'm here. Anyhow, the garage door is open. I'm out now. This is the Liberal Progressive, of course. Thank you very much, Mr. GWION. We appreciate you coming on Liberia Public Radio to give us your point and what you believe in. I don't have a question, but I have a few observations, Mr. So. And excuse me if I try to go politics, but this is politics. He's politician anyway. But what's interests me more is when this young man started his conversation with you. He made it clear of issue that involves CDC. Mr. GWION also made it clear to us, if you were to go and pick up the history as he narrated here this afternoon, you will find out that he was much more involved in the organization process of CDC during his time in the refugee camp. And most of the refugees then are now in Monrovia. So Mr. GWION should be somebody who is at the level in terms of CDC hierarchy. It should be at the level where he will come out and say something, not to say CDC maybe might not be taking me. Now, let me speculate, and I'm very good at that. Do you remember Joyce Solo? He's from Grand GEDEH. He had a very big time fallout, publicly fallout with CDC. Am I to say that perhaps CDC is now trying to put aside crown sedition? Is that too fast to say? Then we have another Bala, the Councillor Bala, who came in after he left CDC because of whatever reason. He came back, and the president stood in public and ridiculed his coming back to join CDC. So now you have another gentleman who is now stranger to CDC. Here he is from Grand GEDEH, but still trying to hang on to the coattail of CDC. My view. Now, Honorable Zopeno was never the sedition, but he decided decided to go on CDC ticket. Now, and Mr. So, I'll just give it to you as it is. If we, Granadian diaspora, if we want some serious leadership in our country, we have to rally ourselves around this young man. Now, I used to work with Jerry. I call him Jerry Sokin. When he was Secretary General of Grand GEDEH County Association, I was his secretary or
Secretary of Education Committee or Chairman of Education Committee. So I used to work with them. I used to work with most of them. I know, okay? But this in Grand GEDEH County, and I just experienced slacking quite recently. I was flooded massively, not because my candidate was not capable of leading, but Grand GEDEH, especially the young Grand GEDEH, they have no interest in an intellectual coming to lead them. They want you to buy them baby top. You heard the crown, the chairman. There's a video where he said, "Call a couple, get me back a cup of rice, and I will vote for Zean." Now you have this intellectual young man who is trying his best to come in and rescue Grand GEDEH County, because with a man like this to lead us, I think Grand GEDEH future is way ahead. But they will never give him that opportunity. They will now try again to go around to try to circumvent the system, and they will try to do that. You heard the young man also stated, you have a counter equipment, and before long, before you look, the counter equipment no longer available, and people try to say, what the counter equipment? These are things this young man is talking about. So he hasn't even gotten there yet, and he's trying to say we need to clean house. Mr. Soul, from my own liberal progressive perspective, I think it's a long hill we have to climb, but we have to help. And thank you, Mr. GWION, for even coming out on Liberian Public Radio to make your view known. Stay strong. Even if you don't get it, you're still Grand GEDEH, and you are tough Grand GEDEH, and you're strong Grand GEDEH. These are the young people that we're looking for. Thank you very much.
Samson Toe.
Wow.
Samson Toe. Is that an endorsement? I set the stage for you. He talking about the street. I say he's an engineer. He didn't even make
I'm not here to talk about engineering business, Mr. So. Grand GEDEH County is going downhill. The president was in Grand GEDEH a few days ago, where massive group of young people were there to welcome the president. And yet still, he can't even come together to boost people up. Who is he going to support in this thing? Is there any primary? I never heard of CDC having a primary in Grand GEDEH County. What are they going to do? They're going to go start jumping behind one another before we go. Mr. So I'm not here to talk about raw business tonight.
Okay, keep on. Let me go to Professor Zaglo, who supports the administration, the CDC. Professor Zaglo, this is the Samson Toe that we always deal with. I don't think he's strange to you. Here we go again with Samson Toe tonight. Do you want to respond before I go to GWION?
Well, the response is very clear, because his own diatribe was very contradictory. I saw him introduce another candidate, Sokan, right? And then he veered off to talk about the CDC and this young man. So I don't even know where he stands, because I saw some contradictions in it. But let me correct him.
Mr. Professor, hold on.
You hold on.
I work with Jerry. I'm not introducing him. I'm saying that because look, your party, the one you're getting ready to defend again tonight, your party continue to throw these kinds of roadblocks in a way. Where's the reason that you have this young man who has given you a perfect history, his connection to CDC, grassroots connection, just like you, and he's saying he doesn't even know whether he's going to be supported by CDC, and you're going to say that I'm here, I'm contradicting? Far from it.
So then I have a quick question for Mr. Samson Brown too.
Can he let a professor in?
Leo had a question. Leo can ask his question. I will end.
Okay.
I mean,
they're flocking, and he's still going through that trauma. We understand. So keep calm. Leo, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Mr. Samson Branto is thinking that the CDC is supposed to embrace Mr. GWION and facilitate the process for him, at the same time accusing the CDC of always putting the rope, and then Mr. GWION is struggling. So then why is Mr. GWION hanging on to the CDC coattail? If this is not the right place for him to be facilitating his dream, because this is not his first time running, and he's faced similar issues before. I'm wondering that.
Just remember,
is it not a contradiction for him?
Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is GWION's night. Let me go back to him and the analyst. We're going to kind of give it a profile after he left. I think it's already late hour here. But let me go back to GWION. Mr. GWION, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've been listening. I guess you were hearing all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think, he's asking why is it I'm still holding on to CDC when the first time they didn't treat me well, and again this time. Is that the question?
Yeah, not necessarily. He was responding to something told the liberal on this network. He was responding to something
In a way,
told.
yes.
Something told said all of the good things about you, and he's Professor Zaulo fireback, and then Leo is coming back to say, wait a minute, something. Don't be flip-flopping here. Don't act like me, Rami, and some of those other folks here and stuff. If you know that it's not working, why is he still? But do you still? And I think the professor asked a question here. Let me re-echo that. Do you still believe or trust doing business with CDC? Even though all of these, a lot of things you explain here, but then following your return, you went to Liberty Party, something Toe Party. I don't know that whether that's a solidarity he tried to form here, whatever the situation is. But do you still have trust with the CDC leadership?
Well, to be frank, Mr. So, it was the first time CDC did not treat me well, and I spent time with Liberty Party. Now that I'm back, I earlier told you that I've written them December 18. They are yet to respond. Delay in their response does not mean that they are not taking me as a member. So until otherwise, we cannot speak to that. I continue to say. So that doesn't mean there is
What
a
is the
relationship between CDC
and I'm
and
still
me.
pushing here, and I need a definitive answer. What is the contingency type plan that you have? If that letter doesn't come up to the point where active campaign will be kicking off, what will you then do?
Well, it's possible that as we are speaking, a minute, a second, or an hour from now, the response can come. What I think we can do is to wait until then.
Will you come back here? In fact, we're going to be having you here from time to time. Will you come back here in the event that respond if your letter is not there's no redress? Will you come back here to tell this public equally? Where your next position going to be?
That is the significance of my connection to you guys and your LPR radio. I'm definitely going to come back because it's a glorious opportunity that you'll be giving me.
Okay. I'm also receiving a text message here for someone who prefers to be a spokesperson or closely working with Gao Jeremiah Sokan. They are willing to take on a debate with you right here on LPR. Are you prepared to take out that glove if it happens?
If you talk about somebody working with Jeremiah Sokan, then I think my lieutenant should take him on. Who I'm
no, not he. Not I mean, they are saying no. What he's saying is that Jeremiah Sokan is willing to debate you on LPR because it seems they are monitoring as well.
When would this debate be?
Oh no, it has to be arranged. It has to be arranged. It has to be done in an orderly manner.
I'm on standby. I'm on standby. I'm on standby.
Okay, go ahead. Respond to those folks. I know it's very late there now. Like I said, it's not going to be the end of this sort of conversation that we are having. So we don't want to keep you here. But Anthony Gay is on the phone here. Let me bring in Anthony Gay. Do you want to say something about bringing Anthony Gay?
Let him come on.
Okay, Mr. Gay, are you there?
I don't know what's happening. There's nothing.
Okay. I'm part of the leadership of the exploratory team for Mr. MADISON GWION. We established a team and we've been working behind the scene, mobilizing a cross section of Grangidians and other Liberians who are not even Grangidians. For the first time since I've been in the diaspora, for all walks of Grangidians, to come together to work in the interest of an individual looking to redeem our county. It is very, welcoming. It is very overwhelming, and it is very interesting. Like Mr. Collins said, it is a pilot project, and with this project, we will continue this trend going forward. We're looking for candidates that will be, capable, have the competence, the confidence, and the willingness to work in the best interest of our people. Not just anyone who just want to seek political office, just for their own personal, agenda. And I think so far so good. The overwhelming support that we have received. Part of the reason why I keep going in and out is because people kept calling my phone. Oh, they want to join the show. They want to listen to the show. And I have to, switch over and let them know where the show I've been sharing all of the different things. You can see your number tonight. I'm very grateful to the FPR family and you in particular. I'm very grateful to the panelists. My brother Leo from Canada, I admire his work, and I watched one of the videos today as well. Great young man, very brilliant, and so we are very excited for this opportunity. Grand GEDEH this time around last election, we were all split. 40% of the population of Grand GEDEH County is in the diaspora. That is not a myth, that is a fact. We contribute immensely to our county when it comes to remittances. And so, but when it comes to our representation back home, we are not, we are not represented. Why?
So
Because,
quickly here, let me get a
uh,
reaction here quickly from the exploratory side here. What do you think the work of your man here tonight? His first appearance on the Lpr here. Do you think he delivers, or was there any stumble?
oh, look, Mr. So I'm so excited. Look, when you have a candidate like the caliber of Mr. GWION, you just relax. In marketing, things like this, you allow the product to market itself. I'm not calling him a product, but I'm using this illustration to just paint a picture. The control he has, the port and the company he has. An individual like this, you don't have to do more. Just allow him. That's why me as a PR person for the team, I don't even do too much writing. All I want to do is to showcase him on a platform like this so people can listen to him. Before I took on this role, I spoke to him myself personally, and I was moved by what I heard from him. I don't know him personally. I don't know him. I've never even met him. But I was very moved as a young man, as a millennial, to hear a person who is willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for our young generation. You will hear testimony about people from Ghana that said, oh, he taught me. He volunteered to teach when there was no salary for instructor. He taught me in school. Oh, he stood for us when we needed X, Y, and Z. You will hear numerous testimonies. This kind of individual that work. Grand GEDEH County have competent people, and we just need to identify them and put them in the right position.
And a backup plan, as far as you are concerned, playing a crucial role in his exploratory process in the event he's not accommodated again by CDC. That's not what I'm suggesting. You are ANC guy. Were you dragging into ANC?
No, I'll allow him to make his own choice. I'm not in this thing for a partisanship. I'm in this thing to redeem my county. I was first of Grand GEDEH before I became a member of ANC, and so I want my county, to flourish, to be part of the discussion. Right now, as we speak, it is not a hidden secret. Grand GEDEH County is non-existent politically in Liberia. Nobody regards Grand GEDEH County when it comes to the political discussion in Liberia.
Okay. Any contingency plan you hear in the diaspora, any contingency plan in the events of active campaign, the exploratory team here or the Friends of ERA, will there be a dispatchment? Will you dispatch folks to go on ground physically to help wage his campaign, or you just doing the baby cry out here?
Oh no, yeah, we got individuals who have already volunteered. A lady came on a call, a mayor pledge, and also volunteered that she will be on the ground. A couple of other guys also inboxed me that they want to be on the ground as well. They also volunteered to contribute. I mean, like I said, this is like Mr. Collins said, it's a pilot project. We never done this before. Where every Grand GEDEH we reach out to every section and say, let's come together. This is not about sectional things. This is about redeeming our county. And every time we reach out to people, people embrace the idea, oh, this is good, and this is good, and this is good. And I mean, this is the first of its kind. And that's why we're doing this. This is not about, like you said, I'm not even from Chien District. I'm a Kunawa person, and I'm promoting a candidate because I believe in his competence. I'm not doing sectional promotion here. And I also told you, I've never even met this man.
All right. Okay, we're going to be wrapping it up here, and then we're going to go to the analyst here to put it into context for us here. We're not just going to... Let me go to Mr. Madison, ERA. ERA, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know it's I put it later inside Liberia, but it's a water course. It's not easy to go to Capitol Hill. Those are some of the things that involve going to the road to Capitol Hill. You're up at this time, 2:29 a.m. local time in Liberia. It's just 9:28 in the East Coast here, right here at the New England Bureau. It's fair to say that to before we let you go, conclude it, put it into context for us here. Liberians, Grenadians, people of all walks of life, listening to you. Why should we believe you? Why should we validate your argument? Why should we? Why should you think that we should have to take you to Capitol Hill? And when I come down to the same old boys that are there, they get there, and it's just all about yourself. What is your final message?
Well, my final message to you is that this has been the first time, if I should be right, that diasporan Grenadians are getting involved, and it's my quest. I have sounded out there because they should have a greater say in whatever we do here, so that it cannot be a unilateral decision on the ground, because they are also part and parcel of the county and they will be coming home. And so I'm giving you all the assurance that upon electing me as a lawmaker, we are going to do this thing together.
Okay. All right. We want to thank you so much. Equally, when the campaign of SOCAN or other those that have interest wants to reach us here, we will keep it proportional to also give them the opportunity. And we will closely based on what your exploratory team here, to perhaps the next form of conversation will be a town hall style where people will just call in and be able to ask their question. Is that something you're willing to bid on?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Madison, I want to thank you so much for sharing your beautiful Monday morning with us. Yes, I almost 2:30 something in Liberia, 2:31 a.m. from the provincial city of Zwedru, GWION County. What's the name? Wow, Zulu Whiskey? Madison, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
How that Zulu Whiskey name came about?
Well, Zulu Whiskey name came about during the war, and it was some kind of military communication code. They referred to GWION County as Gov Charlie, and then Zwedru was developed into the word Zulu Whiskey.
Oh, that's quite
how
interesting.
The name remained.
Okay. Okay, before you go, I see here that in order to put that backstage here, billboard here, it means something. Picture here with the face here. Are you going to Capitol Hill to punch people in your mouth or what? What's the what are symbol for?
That emblem indicates power to the people.
Power to the people. That's Erod Madison on the line from the provincial city of Zwedru, GWION County this early morning hour. Erod, I want to thank you so much and looking forward to having you here again, more or less in the town hall style. If there's any new revelations, let us know, let your team know, and we can equally bring you here. Again, folks, that's the cash app number there. If you are a friend, if you believe in the ideology, the mindset of Mr. Madison, 763-703-3585 is the same as the Zelle number. No excuse. You don't have to go to the bank. Just do a 2-3 click, put in the figure, and it goes to who it's supposed to go. Thank you so much, Madison, and we wish you luck in your political journey.
You're welcome. Thank you also.
All right. Okay, guys, let me come back here before we wrap it up here. Okay. Ooh, Professor?
Yeah.
Any change in mind from the young man in his life's exposition?
No, I think the young man is a very smart man. It appears that he garnered the support of a broad spectrum of Nigerians. I think that is established. I will want him to, to go back to the drawing board and make some campaign decisions. One scary thing about Liberia is people get into the primary, and not just him. A lot of people get into the primary with a preconceived notion that they're going to be cheated. So no matter how the primary will go, they end up leaving the party and going to run for another party. That's scary. undermines, the kind of democracy we want to build. And I think with his broad-based support, I think it will do him well to not even run on the CDC ticket, because I don't think he had that much confidence in the party. I don't know what is his drive to want to remain and run as a candidate of the CDC, but at the same time make some very incendiary comments and ridiculous remarks about the CDC. As a seditious, I won't support him, on that basis. If the party elects him, if the party presents him as the nominee for the party, maybe at that point I will support him. At this point, as a present state, I don't think he represented our party very well. I think, his comments were just unbecoming. When it came to, he questioned the integrity of the entire CDC and the primary process in the CDC. Then he shouldn't be there. As Leo said, you can't be trying to hold on to the code and at the same time, be doing what he did. I just find it like somebody trying to eat with two spoons. He looked at the popularity of the CDC in Nigeria. He looks at the resources at the disposal of the CDC. I think he wants to benefit from those two things. And at the same time, he doesn't respect the institution. And I'm just troubled by that. But I think he's a very smart man. I'm sure he's gonna go back.
Okay. Before I go to the next group there too, are you also disappointed? He also explained his side of a version as to how he was treated. Is that something you want to find on?
Look, let me tell you something. Look, I've followed a lot of primaries within the CDC. The primaries in the CDC are generally fair. They're generally fair.
Generally fair?
Yeah, generally they are fair. The problem is that, again, I'm telling you, look, I gave you a typical example of ULA, and I'll be very short on this one. There was this lady, peace be to her ashes, Yvonne Nelson. She would usually run this raffle for ULA, and she used to sell a ticket for $2. And sometimes I would buy 100 tickets. And at the same time, I would always donate a prize, one of the raffle prizes that I got. And then whenever they had a raffle, even if I'm not there or there, most of the time I will win. And somebody comes to me and tell me that, man, look, what's going on between you and this lady? Every time we do the raffle, you win. But if you had about 300 tickets over there or 400 tickets, and I bought 100 of them, my chance of winning was very high. And the people will bring the bucket.
Let me hold you there. Let me bring in the independent. Let me hold you.
We question processes always. And I had a friend of mine, Emmanuel Toll, very good friend of mine. I supported his candidacy in Riverside County. And he lost in the primary. He lost in the primary because the very same people he appointed and he paid to support his campaign, did not support him. But he believed that he was cheated. So no, the primaries in CDC are generally fair. And at times, let me get to the last. At times, say for example, the party chairman or the standard bearer believes that a particular candidate is not the best for the party, they have behind the scenes negotiation with that candidate. But they don't have a primary and then they go and cheat somebody and bring another person in. No, it doesn't happen in the CDC like that. No.
Okay, I think the Liberal is Asian. That means I don't want to create another fuse here. Only to Leo and Union can stabilize it because he Pat George too also here. Hey Leo, you listen to the professor. Fair analysis.
Again, I just think when you say the CDC primaries are generally free and fair, that's in and of itself for me is a problem. The fact that you can clearly say they're free, fair, and transparent without giving a qualifier generally. But I think this is a problem with political parties in Liberia. They don't do a good job in organizing these processes. The processes tend to be set up to favor certain people from the beginning. They are already presumptives in the process before even the process starts, right? They're already setting candidates. You can already tell by the lay of the land that it doesn't matter who go against them. It's a foregone conclusion. When you have major, powerful people in the party all lining up behind one candidate and indicating that even the president supports certain particular candidates, then you know that it's a problem. Usually in a transparent process, big guns like the president and other people in the party will often wait until there is a candidate selected to mobilize. And even if they support a particular candidate, they would do it very privately where they go and cast their ballot for that candidate rather than trying to come out. So I think in my opinion, someone like E. Madison Nguyen will actually struggle within. That's what I'm asking the question within the CDC, because the way the CDC is actually laid out, it would be difficult for me to see him working through that way. And this is not just a matter to the CDC. All political parties in Liberia have an intrinsic problem of not setting up proper, free, fair, and transparent processes in selecting your candidates. I can't remember when last I saw one, and I don't think the CDC itself has one. So I don't think it's a fair analysis. I can see Madison already having his own skepticism to begin with after his previous encounters. And my thing is, if you already have that skepticism of an institution, then maybe it questions your own judgment as a candidate. Why are you still trying to ride on the coattail of an institutional process that you question? But I would say no, the CDC itself historically have struggled. Every time there has been primaries with the CDC, I would say to you, whether intentionally or unintentionally, I don't think it has been set up the way it should be set up, that provides equal opportunities and a level playing field for all of the candidates.
Mr. Yino?
Yes, I'm here.
What's your version?
So I think what's happening in Grand GEDEH County, I think Mr. Eero Madison GWION is in a conundrum here. The people of Grand GEDEH County have, for good or bad, cast a lot with the CDC. So Mr. GWION, therefore, has to straddle the line as to whether or not he's a CDC candidate or not a CDC candidate. And that's unfortunate. I remember when Comfort Wilson called, her first, before she even committed to making a contribution, her question was, which party are you running on? And once Mr. GWION said CDC, then she was willing to make her contribution. Having said that, I think he's in an uphill battle if he doesn't become the CDC candidate. And I think something needs to give. Some things need to change. Now, as to whether or not CDC has primaries at all, and whether in fact their primaries are free and fair, it's another question for another day. But I've seen where let's take the senatorial candidate primaries that brought Zoe Panel, that had Zoe Panel elected, for instance, to represent the CDC. I don't know if there was a primary in Grand GEDEH County for that. Let's take the CDC primaries in Montserrat County that had T5 running as a CDC candidate. I don't know if there's a real primary. So to even claim that CDC has generally free and fair primaries, I think it's another issue but it's an issue, but it could be an issue for another day. I want to focus here on district number 1, Grand GEDEH County, and the candidates in the race. I think you broke some news tonight, Mr. So. Fred GWION has been one of the people who Fred has said he's had an exploratory committee. Fred has said I think Fred probably, without being direct, has probably indicated tonight that he might not be running. So you did break some news. I think, though, that the fact of the matter here in that district is that I know Eero personally. We went to the same school, grew up in Zwedru. He's a big brother for me. But I think this whole idea of Chan people running against the other people needs to be addressed. Because once we do not address that, what's going to happen is we're going to focus on the Chan side, and we're going to divide Zwedru. We're going to divide that district. So the non-Chan people who live in that district will support the non-Chan candidate, and the Chan people will support the Chan candidate, which I think is not the method by which we produce the best person and the best candidate for the district. I'm extremely worried about it. I grew up in Zwedru. I went to St. Philomena Elementary School, and I went to Bishop Julie High School, and then I graduated and came to Monrovia. But I'm not Chan. Does that mean that when I'm running, Chan people are not supposed to support me because I'm not Chan? That bothers me.
Okay, let me hold you. Let me hold you there.
I'm not.
All right.
Do I tell my people to vote for the non-Chan?
Well, you can. Okay, let me hold you there a little bit. Okay, let's set the room on fire here because I think they're going to be at gas combustion right now. The liberal progressive, you listen to the professor, the primary in CDC, if, everything is okay. I don't want to ask about Liberty Party. And Leo made an argument, all of the political parties, including that of your party, Liberty Party, as well. Remember, you said here, why, in fact, Leo, this is the same guy here. I'm going to see how you're going to address it. Why he came out here to say that Darius Dillon should not even be challenged because CDC is in control of the House. So it's the same sort of politicking and restructuring the old way of doing things here. I want to see how the Liberal are going to take on this one here. Liberal, is your party doing anything different than that of CDC?
Mr. So, let me just say this here. You're going to try and you will fail to try to bring me around your conservative ideas. Those ideas are behind time, and I'm not going to subscribe to any of those things. Let me just tell you this. Liberty Party having some serious issue right now with Musability. So please spare me, Liberty Party. I'm not going to come sit here and crow over who's doing what and what have you. Now, let's get back to what we're here to discuss. We're not here to discuss Liberty Party. CDC and this young man, on a very serious note, Mr. So, about a week or so ago, before the president started getting out to go to his country tour, I was perusing the Facebook, and there was some beautiful written article about Madison GWION and group of people that was planning to demonstrate in Zvedru against the president. And I read that, but some of the information that was provided in that article was not true because I am previous to some of the information that the young man put in there. However, one of the interesting things that happened, and it usually doesn't happen in terms of Liberian politics, immediately, within like less than 2 hours, someone from the other camp, from Madison camp, came out to respond. But his response was so unique in a way that I said, okay, Grangidians are ready for politics. He didn't come across to insult or to, all he did was, how can you point this out when this is, he was just providing facts. Now, the people of Grangidia County, and not just Grangidia, in Liberia, the population, the voting population are all young people. So people, such a candidate like Madison GWION, who is coming out to say, look, we need to focus our attention on the youth to make sure that the youth get the kinds of education that will help us tomorrow. However, let me caution Mr. Madison as well. Don't come across as being condescending to the youth because they will quickly consider that to be condescending, even though you're being truthful and you're asking them to make sure that they do something for tomorrow, prepare themselves for tomorrow. Now, let's go back to CDC. And the professor here, I told you guys the other day, I said, as time gets closer to the 2023 election, the professor will be so much defensive in anything CDC. He will be defensive. And if I'm being proven wrong, I mean being proven correct because he keep every time CDC he's on the defensive. So here we are tonight. Madison GWION came up here and explained to the whole world that he was part of the phone. He is a member of the founding member of CDC, especially in Ghana. And you would think the professor would say, no, Madison, we know you did well. And we're all going to make sure that you're successful. Whatever CDC is doing to you, this is not how it's supposed to be. But what did he say? I think this young man doesn't even have trust in CDC. So I'm not even going to support him until the... Why were you Mr. Professor Honorable, why will you now say, because the man trying to express himself, because of the way he trying to express himself, now you're going to distance yourself from him, and because he didn't embrace CDC. So why is CDC is doing wrong? We will flog you 2023 2023, what kind of behavior you got, we will flock you, and you got nowhere to turn but to blame yourself. And on a very simple, as soon as the president leaves the office, you'll be like just like Tui Party. Nobody will remember CDC. My point.
Okay, let me bring in Independence Pa George from Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. George, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you listen to Professor Zavlo, you listen to the soundbite coming from the liberal progressive, Leo pull it into context, you listen to Madison. Does Madison GWION run a risk here if for any reason the ruling establishment, if Zoe Emmanuel Pennant, there's no way that the politics of Grand GEDEH, you cannot underestimate Zoe Pennant. Zoe Pennant is a Goliath within the politics of Grand GEDEH. If Zoe Emmanuel Pennant, like we are hearing now, to lift the hands of Jeremiah Sokan and Madison GWION pivot to the independent side or any other party side, is he running on a broken state? What do you think?
He's caught between a rock and a hard place. And this is what happens if you don't make up your mind. And let me say this. If you cannot stand for anything, then I have a serious problem with you. If I leave our organization, before I leave our organization, I have to do a complete assessment, the risk involved. If I leave this thing, the cost, what will cost me? He left CDC, went to Liberty Party.
The Samson Party.
Yeah. Then he came back. Right there, you create a problem for yourself. I will tell you, you're not stable.
So let me stop you right there. The professor, he didn't go in there, but he hit the point here that, hey, this guy, he doesn't trust the party. So the party itself could have an apprehension about he being part of the process. Does the professor point, does he have a valid point?
Coming. So we have created a problem. If you are a founding member of that organization, to leave that organization, it means that you have done all the assessment with the pros and cons before taking your exit. You take your exit and you come back. And I tell people, anybody like that with you and myself, I don't trust you. I got apprehension dealing with you. Now, he comes
so do you have apprehension about him right now?
I'm not a member of CDC. So, but I'm just saying, if I were dealing with him, I see one from CDC, I will have an apprehension with him. What the cause that he left CDC when he was a founding member, why he left, and what bringing him back? Now, then he said, the system, the culture, is not what being portrayed today. But you didn't see that before. You knew something happened that caused you to leave. Then what brought you back? Now you want to speak about it? I get the point. Yes, people can be in organization. They have the right to speak about it. But at what point in time will you decide to say, you know what happened? I'm leaving and not coming back. Whatever happened there, okay, I'm gone. So here's the problem. Professor said that sometimes, they have primary, but is it free and is it transparent? I don't know. The jury is in the air for that. Basel, I can talk about Basel. I don't know what happened with Finney then there. But yes, so here is the thing now. This young man is caught up in. The man was, I think, deputy EPS director. He sees the president every day. He sees all the heavyweight every day. The senior senator for Grand GEDEH, the president, he's there right there. They feature him now is there to introduce the president. So now tell me, will they kind of support that President William do have in Grand GEDEH? It's a clear message to those people that this is the man the president is supporting will be behind in any political institution. We saw it when Bernie Sanders and Hillary were running. What happened? All the big guns were behind Hillary before even the convention. They all went behind Hillary because they did not want Bernie Sanders. They were sending a message to all the supporters. They sent that message clear. And what happened? When it's about the nomination, he cried. But the Democrats decided that this guy will be more risky for us. So we prefer a traditional person who was Hillary Clinton at the time. They did it. The same thing is happening in Liberia. President, we are the Senator Brian Gideon, the party chairman, if they lean towards the deputy EPS director, definitely they go to that convention, Mr. Guion will not win. He may cry, but it is a process. So that is the issue today that he's facing. Okay. I saw him. I like his way he articulated the issue fair. But those are the issues. In politics, you have to be very careful to take certain decisions because at the end of the day, you have to live with it. And today now he's caught in a very hard place.
Okay.
I have so many questions to ask, but he is Grand Gideon. What is his relationship with the party chairman in that county? All these things have to be taken into consideration. What is his relationship with the local chairman in Zedru? CDC chairman, what is his relationship with that party chairman there? Before coming to Monrovia to be the national chairman of the party. Because these are people who will be able to recommend you or to speak on your behalf. To say, yeah, this partisan is a strange partisan. But let me just close on a note. The liberal something Roku told. Don't speak about transparency. You and I had an argument on this number. You said nobody should oppose Darrell Dillon. Nobody should change him. So what are you coming from tonight? Because it ran there? No. Those are your own words. I tell you, it will come back to bite you. Now we are here. And don't say the Crown people. You saw the kind of welcome the people gave you, we are. Is that true? If you are silent, the Crown people, why the people turn on like that? Getting a massive welcome. So where are you coming from? Don't stay right in Sacramento. Don't go there to talk about you trying to put your Crown people aside. Please.
Oh my goodness.
Don't stay right here. Let me end it there.
Okay.
So just end the show right here.
Yeah.
just end the show right here.
Okay. Before we end the show here,
Professor, I was supporting me tonight. You see that?
Yeah, you know.
Before we end the show, let me go to Leo in Canada. Leo, I'm getting text message here from my supporters of Hero, but this seems to be a volatile issue, right? Yeah. I'm getting a message here from some of his strong supporters. He contested 2017. Then President George Weah raised his hand as a choice, but he was defeated by incumbent Senator Zoe Emmanuel Pennon. Well, let's follow the trend here. Zoe Pennon served as a representative for the very district seat. Madison Guion is going to be contesting there for what? 9 + 9 is what? 18 unbroken years. So the probability of he having a solid or he has solidified his position here. And this is the guy we're talking about. Perhaps you didn't see it. Let me play this video here again and see. And we're gonna see here. This is Jeremiah Sokan. Let me see here. Let me play this here. Hopefully, okay. Let me get this here.
Ourselves in GEDEH Embassy. With the lady legend of GWION County, now the Senator of GWION County, Zoe Pennon. So I ask you to take your seat because we want to recognize a distinct personality in our midst. And who entered while the occasion was ongoing. Honorable Jeremiah Sokan, I want to say you are welcome to GEDEH Embassy.
Honorable Jeremiah Sokan, welcome to GEDEH Embassy. They are making direct reference to Zoe Emmanuel Pennon's senator-elect. And he is sitting now in his chair that what is his name? This New York former Congressman Charles Rango and people there all cheering. Young folks are all clapping. For discussion purposes, if Zoe Pennon decides to get this guy hand in the air, is there any risk, political risk, gambling with Ero. He's very articulative. You know, he's making that argument. But I'm not sure how many of our people consider all of those.
I think it will be dangerous for Eroy because he's playing the same, I call it transactional politics. You want to be representative, like we always say, all politics is local. The only people who have the right to cast a ballot in that election will be those in that district that are registered voters. Instead of Eroy focusing his campaign, doesn't matter who supports you or not. And if CDC comes through to support you, hey, and you know, more grease to your elbows. If President Weah comes to support you, more grease to your elbows. But to make your strategy of winning to be true, whether the CDC support you or not, is a colossal mistake. Because we've seen even President Weah lift up people's hands before and they lose. So the fact that Zopeno or Senator-elect Zopeno might lift up somebody's hands, might make them win or lose, I think is a mistake. I think what would be a sure game plan for E. Madison would be to say, my game plan is going to be a solid one, regardless of whether CDC, Senator-elect Zopeno, or anybody support me. I need to have a game plan in place that show me the math as to how I can get to victory. But this lazy transactional politics we like to do in Liberia, that somebody else who's already popular should live for our hand, that person popularity should be transferred onto us, it's a dangerous game. Because remember, voters make strategic decisions. Those that are running, the voters try to sometimes take the lesser of the evils. So let's say, for example, if Zopeno was the lesser of the evils running, even though people may not have liked him, but they realize that based on who's on the ballot, Zopeno was the best we can go with. That doesn't mean that because Zopeno brings somebody and lifts up their hand, we're automatically translating the people saying, in Zopeno we trust, so we'll go and vote that person. So I would say to E. Madison, if Zopeno supports the other guy, I think he's in a serious trouble because Zopeno is very close to the president. So you put your eggs in the CDC basket. Let's even forget about Zopeno. If CDC comes and says, we're not supporting you, E. Madison, what are you going to do now that you're hinging your entire strategy on this? You will look like you're a flip-flopper when the CDC said they're not supporting you, and then you start to go look for other people now to come and support you. You've lost the integrity that people would have had to say E. Madison is a man of his own. He loves this district and he wants to support this district. So E. Madison's strategy should be, elect me, E. Madison, for who I am. If CDC supports me, hallelujah, I take it, I celebrate it. If Zopeno supports me, I celebrate it. People don't want to vote for who lift who hands. People want to vote for who they think actually have the solutions they're looking for. You can lift on anybody's hand. If people are not convinced that you have the solution for what they're looking for, they will not vote for you. So I think your real game plan should be on, do I have the ability to convince enough people in Zwedru that E. Madison is the man for the job, rather than wasting all my time waiting for CDC to send response to my letter? Why are you making that a condition for your campaign, waiting for CDC to respond to your letter?
Okay, now you let the cat out of the bag. Let me go to you now.
Yeah, Mr. So I just wanted to state a caveat here. So in as much as Zopeno is very popular in Grand GEDEH County, and Zopeno is probably popular in Chien District, there's a little caveat. District number 1, where the contest is taking place, is Zwedru. So we have to be mindful. And let me tell you all a little bit about the geography if you don't know. So Zopeno is technically, if we look at where people originate from, is not from Zwedru. So
oh, your audio is fading away.
The reason you're hearing Chien is that Zwedru is Madison, it's Chien, and is in Zwedru. So in as much as Zopeno might have some influence, Erod has a chance. And I agree with Leo. If Erod were to go to his people and say, hey, vote for me, that Erod will have a better chance. Because in Liberia, people vote for candidates, don't necessarily vote for political parties, even though that might be slightly different with the CDC in Zwedru. I mean, Grand GEDEH. However, Erod could break that because Erod is Chien. Zwedru is populated by Chien people. Zopeno is from, even though he's from Chien district, it's not technically district number 1, which is just Zwedru. So district number 1 doesn't span the entire chain district. District number 1 is just Zwedru. So if Error can really focus on Zwedru, he can win the election regardless of whether or not CDC endorses him or Zopano endorses him or whatever. That's a critical key point that I think Error's people, his technical people, need to look at. And Error, having gone to school in Zwedru, grown up in Zwedru, being growing high school, has been teaching people. Also knowing that Zwedru is populated by young people who are in school can really make an impact and win regardless of whether CDC supports him or not. And I think Error needs to establish, as Leo said, I am running. I'm seeking CDC support, but whether CDC supports me or not, I am running. I'm Error Madison GWION. I want to represent my people. He has to be clear and definitive about that.
Okay, let me do a quick round here, and you guys here. Professor, you wanted to say something?
No. I just no. Then go ahead. I think he's.
Okay, let me do a quick round here, and I will start with my own friend and brother, the liberal, Pajoy, slamming you again terribly tonight. You want to respond to Pajoy, the liberal?
Not quite, because that particular argument.
And now I'm giving you the
Mr. So, please, hold on. Don't throw your conservative weight around here tonight, please. It's not going to work.
Opportunity. I know you very well. By the time we leave this air here, you will not. You are unable to address George's question. But when we leave,
I'm Mr. So. I don't. Just listen. Just give me a minute. George's argument. And as the good professor want us now to close the show because they think they got the liberal in the background, ain't happening. I've already won that debate. I won that debate.
We debate.
The professor should know they got flock. So I'm not going to bring those things up anymore. However, my argument at the time was because CDC and his people were claiming to be pure, to say they like to do the right thing, no corruption. So I was saying to them at the time, Dallas Glidden claiming that he's the light. And if you also a sedition, you say you like the light to shine. We got somebody who's shining the light. What you want to do now? Why you want to bring somebody else? They didn't listen to me. They brought somebody, spend all the money. What happened? The light won. So that debate is already mine. Now let me take issue with Leo assertion about Madison going the route of say I'm here. No, I say Madison should wait until CDC avail themselves as being inept. Here's what's going to happen. Madison, he's from Grand GEDEH. CDC heavily supporters of Grand GEDEH supporting CDC. There's no question asked. CDC have issue with George Soros. Remember that. I keep saying this. George Soros is from Grand GEDEH. People in Grand GEDEH remember this thing. Look in the CDC hierarchy. Who do you have? You don't find many people from Grand GEDEH part of that. Number one. Another thing I want to bring up. If Madison really showed how vindictive CDC is, to say, look, and people in Sweden know Madison's story, that he's one of the founding members of CDC in Ghana. So now, because he left, whatever reason, CDC is okay, he's back now. What's the support? He's going to tell the Grand GEDEH. This is the reason many of you say, I should go back to CDC. I'm back to CDC. Look what they're doing to me now. Many of Grand GEDEHs will say, okay, this man and CDC, they're so vindictive, we're not going to support them. Then if Madison comes out and says, I'm here because CDC rejected me, people would rally around Madison.
Let me hold you right there here. We're going to be wrapping. Oh, yeah. Leo, you want to?
Yeah, I want to respond quickly.
That's an old-time faction.
And first of all, just sowing the seed of doubt in people's mind that your campaign strategy is contingent on CDC support. In politics, when you create an impression, it's not easy to undo it, because there'll be all kinds of people going on. Oh, Madison waiting, and there'll be all kinds of people who will not come out with analysis. If CDC doesn't support Madison, they'll be like, oh, Madison, we're hoping your CDC, he not get CDC anymore, so it will be difficult for him to actually win. People like to see strength in politics. Even if you are weak, when you project strength, people love it. Madison right now, when I hear him speak, he's projecting weaknesses to me. I see him sound projecting because he's telling us that they treated him badly before. It's almost like somebody complaining. They treated him badly before, and now he going back again to see. And then he said he has rating them, and he complaining that they haven't even responded to his letter yet. Look at the length of time he says he's actually rating them.
Okay, this is what I want to come to here. Pa George. Yeah. You listen to this guy. Let me just bring him next to you here, so you will. Let me just bring him opposite direction to you. The liberal. Is it altering? Is that supposed to be a strategy war room to guys? Let's wait and see if they don't. People gonna act here. But so let's put on that. Let's do a political ultrasound here. What should Madison considering doing right now? And Leo made a point here. He's caught like a piece of cloth between the scissors right now, seeing what is unfolding. I follow the politics of GWION. Should he decide which direction to go to, or should he wait until he get a bullet in his head? Political bullet, literally.
Let me say this. Madison knows exactly the game that is playing. And I heard him. But he's not decisive. He's not decisive. Right now, if Madison cannot take a decision, forget about tomorrow, he's gone. Because right now, if I were one of those sending someone to support Madison, I would say, Madison, you're not telling anything what you're going to do. You have not told me anything what you're going to do. Because you see, you're waiting for CDC, you wrote a letter, you're waiting for them, and what is the alternative? You don't have alternative, you're still waiting to see. Come on. You get your voter or supporter nervous. Take a stand. If you lose it, lose it. Take a stand. Look, you know what happened? I'm going. Independent, whether citizens support or not, I'm going. Because I figured that they will not support me. The hierarchy will not support me, so I'm going. But you say you're waiting for response. How long you been grinding, or how long you been exploiting this thing that you know up to this time you cannot make up your mind whether citizens will support you or not? Come on, man. He has to be. Look, this guy, if you want to do something, do it. If you want to go as an independent, tell the world, tell your supporter, you know what I mean? I'm going as an independent candidate. Yes, I want CDC, but I don't see my way clear. So I was an independent candidate. If I lost, okay, that's it.
Okay, I mean, it should be like Women Pair, right? Women Pair going to the Liberian People's, what they call Liberation Party.
No, Women Pair, I want to go because they kicked him out of that party. He know what he did to the people for the king. So he didn't go there.
Look.
Okay, so guys, so this is what we're going to talk. We have 1 minute each for you to come. Yeah, Professor, go ahead, and you can have your closing remarks.
You know, again, look, I'm not, and I don't know whether anybody here is in particularly have some personal disagreement or personal issues with the candidate, the Madison GWION. I think it's just. I mean, if I was in the leadership of CDC, I think his statement he made tonight, and I don't think that's the first time he's made that statement, is sufficient to disqualify him from running on the party ticket. And so I think he's got to be very clear. And I think that's what most people have been saying. That's what I said from the beginning. I'm glad that almost everybody now has agreed with me, even though it's a disagreement with me using the word generally. You know, I teach a course in quantitative reasoning. One of the things I stress to my students is avoidance of universality and absoluteness in their speech. You gotta be very careful as you use those kind of words about every, all, and making those general characterizations to say that something is free and fair. You know, you have to. You always have to leave an iota, a space, because there's no system that is perfect. But again, let me reiterate. The processes in CDC, let's talk about all the negative things for the CDC. When it comes to the primary process in CDC is by far the best and perhaps the only political institution in Liberia which practices take primary seriously.
You give the liberal migrant already guys, we're gonna
He
go
has
here.
agreed to that. I mean,
We
it's
gotta
not like
conclude, yeah.
it's not a CPP that took Darius Dillon and the daughter of one of the biggest financiers against me and Kennedy. There was no process. Went on. Nothing went on. So
oh my
let's
goodness.
be fair. Let's
You
be
mean
fair.
you mean there was no process that you liked?
All right.
There
So,
was no process.
gentlemen, we gotta leave here for the rest of the
I
evening.
don't care about what CPP does or what other people do.
Okay,
But there was
30 seconds each. Your closing remark. Let me start with you, Professor.
But my closing remark is simple. I think the young man is a nice guy. I think the fact that he's a teacher, it gave me some sympathy towards him. I just want him to go back and retune his message, be very clear. Decide not to run in the CDC and just go with it. Or kind of join the CDC, run, and then if he loses the primary, support the campaign.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor. Mr. Yunon, 30 seconds.
So in politics, it's basically what have you done for me lately, in quotes. What has the CDC done for the people of Grand GEDEH lately?
Nothing.
That is the question that Mr. Ira Madison GWION needs to answer. And the answer to that question, and what does he want to do for the people of Grand GEDEH County? As I said earlier, the people of Grand GEDEH County have unfortunately cast a lot for CDC, no matter what. And I think that's detrimental. People, politicians, individuals should be looking for what they can get, who's serving them, who's seeking their interest, not other perennial issues.
Okay, let me go to Canada where our man Leo is standing by. Leo, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll just close quickly by saying to everybody, this is the problem in Liberia. I am still concerned. I heard E. Madison GWION talk about everything that he would do except his responsibility for lawmaking and oversight. Again, let's stop miseducating our people, because this is a problem. So our people are voting for lawmakers and expecting them to build roads and build schools and build clinics and oversee money coming to the district, but not expecting them to go there with a legislative agenda that would prefer tangible systems in place for their own benefit. So I would say to Madison, my own encouragement to you, you need to move to also letting us know as a legislator, what is going to be your legislative agenda in lobbying, mobilizing your peers in the House of Representatives around specific legislative agenda and oversight agenda to ensure that the people of Grand GEDEH are served primarily, but the people of the Republic of Liberia are also served, because that is the power of the legislature. Thank you.
Okay, let me go to Atlanta, Georgia, where independent Amos George is standing by. By George?
Yeah, look, let me just make this statement to my best good old friend Roku told. The people of Grand GEDEH, majority of the people of Grand GEDEH County that reside in that county, they have embraced CDC along with President Weah. So don't come and say, where is the campaign and hierarchy of CDC? If you want to talk, then speak about the people in America. Don't talk about the people in Nigeria. You saw the welcoming ceremony they have for President Weah. If at all, they figure that they don't have enough representation, they will not be behind that party like that. Okay.
Right.
So let's just get it that way. And the last I want to say to the young man, GWION, he's an excellent person. I have not met him, but tonight I saw him, how he articulated his view. Even though I got a whole lot of questions to answer, but he had to stand straight. He had to come clear to his supporters and those who will sympathize with him as his position going forward.
Okay. The Liberal Progressive, based in Sacramento, California.
Thank you, Mr. Soul, for having us here tonight. It's a wonderful discussion, and everything we try to do here is to enlighten Liberians, and it's all about Liberia. So I really appreciate it. Tomorrow night, of course, we'll be hosting Victor Smith, a former IT Minister of Public Work, and now a private citizen with his own engineering company in Liberia, will be my guest, and now the president of the Engineering Society in Liberia. He will be my guest, I hope. And those of you that have interest in the road infrastructure issue in Liberia, join me, and you will surely enjoy yourself. Thank you, Mr. Sir. I'm glad that you didn't come up with your conservative idea tonight and try to dominate the show. You're coming my way, the liberal view. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
What time are you coming on? What time?
Pat Joyce, Amos Joyce Slam.
Oh, I will be on around about 8 o'clock your time.
Okay.
This is how he behaves. Amos Joyce slam you here. You didn't crack. Now you're trying to turn it on me. But I honestly, tonight was a happy night for you, so I will let you go and have a rest.
Let Leo, with your idea about campaigning, just stay in Canada and run. The man wants to win election.
The man is denying a Liberian citizen from going to Liberia to run and win. Trust me,
what I say to you, I'm telling you that the man wants to win election in Grand GEDEH. He doesn't want to win election in Canada.
Guys,
thank you, Mr. So. Good night, folks.
I want to thank you so much, all of you, for your time here this evening. Thank you so much for your contributions, Mr. Yunont, and all of the folks. Leo, I also want to thank you very much. Well, every good thing must come to an end. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Those of you following us, Era, we want to say thank you for showing face. We are also getting a message. Maybe it's Sokan, Jeremiah Gao Sokan will be coming here. Those following us inside Liberia, get Madam Wilson and all of our folks. Thank you so much. We are here. That's how we're going to draw the curtain down here. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. So let me just take Ero home to Grand GEDEH. Guadu is there. And we're going to be breaking here. And hopefully this time we're going to be in the town hall context. One of my professors told me, if you want to be dog, be dog. You want to be cat, be cat. There's no way that you can be dog cat. So consistency and decisiveness comes with risk. Life itself is a risk. So somebody got to take the risk. And we are open, all of the folks that are participating in the process, because electing someone that is competent, qualified for Chien district, potentially you are giving Liberia a good face. So we all have stake, we all have interest in that. So our phone lines are open right here on LPR, and we hope to have you here. Mr. Madison, thank you for the courage to appear here on the Liberia Public Radio. I'll be breaking in River G. Senator Jeniton Boys Charles Sibwe. He's going to be our guest coming Sunday right here on the Liberia Public Radio. Well, every good thing must come to an end. My man fellow George is better late than never. So I got a saying the walkabout child cannot see the man body. All right. So guys, I want to thank you to our onliners. Those have been tweeting your questions, your concern. Subscribe with us on the Liberia Public Radio, LIB Messenger page, Facebook. You can go on YouTube as well. The channel is there. Go on the official website, www.liberiapublicradio.com as well. If you have your business, we bring in workshop, concept, conventions. You let us know, 682-433-8802. That's the number to call, and we can get it all done for you. Until then, time Alphonso Zean. Time check here in the East Coast is 10:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's how we're going to draw down the curtain here this evening. Thank you so much for being part of today's conversation, and have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for a program want to promote your business, products, or services, then look no further. So Faces is here just for you. It's a 30 minutes program on Lpr-Tv. On the visit, we promote your businesses, discover sites, showcase your products, and tell your stories. Join me, Diana, calling on Lpr Radio every Wednesdays and Fridays, 1.
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises for no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days. Better days, money in the pockets. Oh, I saw holidays. Holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days. Better days, money in your pockets. Holidays only for the bosses, the bosses, the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are they gonna eat? Yeah, so safety and we waiting. Yeah, so. They don't really care about you. They don't care, my people, it's true. They don't want to see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction.